The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National. The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right stand that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable. And stop making excuses for them. The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
Hello. On that note, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everyone in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate each and everyone continued support and endorsement. Tonight's topic, I see report tabled, and Andrew Holness'S fate hangs in the balance. Guys, remember, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can, and if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. In house, we'll have tonight Mr. Rattigan is in the background right now. We'll also have Daisy Magazine, and Jamaica will be joining us again. Let me just go ahead and welcome those in the chat. Patel Cruikshank, Truck Life, Marilyn Mollioson, Devon Fletcher, Don Mel, Beverly, Leighton Brown, Colleen Stewart, Cynthia B, our channel member, one of our channel members, Omar Campbell, Yvonne Riley, Barris White, Rennie Swaby, Nyla Queen, Eileen Francis, Kirk Wong, Sam Allen, Fitzroy Nugent, Louis Longshaw, Bernal James, Timestamp, G Angel, I think I said Patel Cruikshank already. If not, then I'll say it again. Garfield Gordon, Liza Wood Ladrick, Monica Hall, Barbara Gura, Levi Smith, Universal, Orville White. Welcome. Thank you guys so much. Ransford Smith, bless up yourself. Thank you. Without any delay, I'm going to hand over to Baron so I can do some housekeeping. I'll welcome you in the chat as you come in, but if I lose control as usual, I will do an umbrella welcome. Creative Minds, Dorothy Brown, welcome, welcome. Florence Brown, welcome. Over to you, Baron.
All right. Thank you, Honey, for that. You have done a wonderful job. I know that today you were very busy carrying the process of Parliament for today. So once again, really thank you. Now I want to say, big respect to all of my subscribers who have been following us from then until now. It makes a world of difference in terms of the support and the energy that behind us. We feel so much appreciated and so much appreciative. So we have to say big thanks for that. And all supporters, right? People in TV land, people in the chat, right? A lot of respect goes out, right? To you all, right? Tonight, of course, we have a wonderful panel, right? Of this, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, some of the best brains that we can have. We will be dissecting a couple of reports, right, as it relates to, the Integrity Commission report being tabled. But we have so much information to process, right, and as it relates to this administration, corruption rocked them from head to foot, right? So without any delay, I'm just going to have the panelists come in live and of course give a little brief introduction. Let me start with Jamaics. Welcome to the panel again, and this time you're a panelist on Mystic Sensation, right? You will be here breaking down a couple of the reports with us. So of course I'm saying that my people now is your people, Jamaics. Welcome to the floor, and please greet your people accordingly.
Thank you. Good night to everybody. The Mystic Duo, trust me, man, they are inspiration to family and people out there. Mr. Wilfred Rattigan, a great lecturer, a man that comes out each day, come and teach the Jamaican people. It is great to see that we can connect both the local ground and the ground abroad, which never lose the navel string of Jamaica. So greetings to all the viewers and listeners. Thank you for welcoming me, just as the Mystic Sensation family has welcomed me. And it is just a great pleasure to come here to speak the knowledge that I know, but most importantly, to learn from the great minds that I'm among. So great.
Thank you, Jamaics, for that brief introduction there. And of course, who we have, right? The man who is leading the mission, I know him no want to take on the name there, but him lead the mission. All who go on, you understand, him lead the mission. So Rattigan, Rattigan with us, and we are so happy, right? Each week, Rattigan appear on the show, right? So without any further delay, let me just invite Rattigan to our audience listeners, right? Rattigan.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Bless up everybody in the viewing audience. Anne-Marie, big up yourself. Myron, stay so. Jamaics, yes, sir. Look, people, the place to be on a Wednesday night is
Tuesday.
I tell you. We said last week, last week was the same thing. Last week was the same thing. I have to stop drinking. I have to stop drinking. People, on a Tuesday night, it's right here. It's with Mystic Sensation and the crew, because we break everything down for you. And tonight is going to be no different than previous Tuesday night, because there is so much to talk about. As we say all the time, Jamaica is content rich. You don't have to look far to find content. And, these people, they're thinking that Jamaica is back to the 60s and the 50s and maybe even the 70s, where you could hide information from the public and you just tell them and that's how it go. In this age of information, times have changed. The politicians haven't realized it. Or if they have realized it, them just don't care because them keep doing the same things over and over. But we have mobilized the people in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica. And to that extent, we are doing everything that we can to educate those who need to be educated and get those who need to be on the front lines with us, get them in line. And there is no stopping us now. It's like started out with us with a snowflake, a snowball, and now it's an avalanche. Glad to be here.
All right, thank you for that, Ratty. And please be advised, people, that Sister Maria, of course, will join us later. As what Rattigan said, as it relates to the politics of the day. And let us warn them, Ratty, that the conventional politics, is not working. Right? We are living in an era, technological era, where politicians are going to be facts checked, right? And we are going to be doing our, requisite research, right, and bring the facts to bear. So that situation in terms of gone are the days when politicians could just, use their PR skills and PR their way out of situations and tell lies and so forth. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. It's a new day dawning, right? And social media is here, right, to hold them accountable. Jamaics is here to hold them accountable. Rattigan is here to hold them accountable. Sister Maria is here to hold them accountable. And many more platforms are in the space to definitely hold politicians accountable. And we are looking about Jamaican business. Right, we are talking about a better nation, right? And so then, of course, we are going to put our Jamaican people first, front and center, right? Our Jamaican people, right, is who we are going to put first. No party, right? Our Jamaican people. We are fighting for our Jamaican people. We want a better future for every one of us. As I said, nation building. Now, let me start the show as it relates to, right, cruising, right, with a little vibes before we actually get into the program. Honey, let us give them a little vibes to the listener ears, right, as my sister through this music is going to warn them. So let us vibes of the night tonight. Tonight is going to be extremely interesting and, of course, a lot to break down. All right, so let us get into the vibes before. Exactly. So this is what we are talking about. That whenever, right, or whatever, right, being happening in the space as it relates to corruption, then of course one has to anticipate, right, the consequence thereof that is going to follow. We are seeing, right, the Andrew Holness'S led administration. Oh my God. It's just that, corruption is just, rocking, right, left, front, and center, everywhere, all over the Andrew Holness'S administration. It's a shame, right? It's a callous shame that Jamaican people, right, are bearing this with this administration, right? Without any delay, let us get into, right, this next clip. All right.
Okay.
No. Political amendment. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let us get into that. Because we have done that already. All right.
A commitment, an energy, and a determination that has resonated with the Jamaican people. But I want to make it very clear that that goodwill that he enjoys is very delicate. It's very fragile. It has to be handled with the utmost care. It is something that can vanish in the twinkling of an eye. So it has to be protected and preserved, because he is going to need it in order to mobilize the country to confront the many challenges that we face. And we are going to need the public goodwill that he enjoys when the next elections come around. My message to you today, brief as it has to be, is not designed, was not intended to elicit applause. I don't need applause. But as someone who has served this party, someone who grew up in the party, someone who has the honor of serving for 10 years as your General Secretary, for 11 years as your Chairman, and for 6 years as your leader, I claim privilege to say what I'm about to say, because I believe I have a duty to say. A couple of years ago, it may have been 2017, 2018.
All right. You know, it is so sad to say in terms of what Bruce Golding advised to Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
Not Bruce Golden.
Not, huh?
Not Bruce Golden. Sorry.
Yes.
You're right. Sorry.
It is so sad to say in terms of what Bruce Golding, right, had advised Andrew Holness as it relates to good governance. And where we had seen where Bruce Golding told him that, you know, it's a fragile thing in terms of how you lead and in respect of how you might have the people, right, in terms of supporting you now, you have to make sure you act, right, on principle so that people can understand a goodwill leader that you are. Now, what we have seen, it's a crying shame as it relates to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, right, took over the realms of power. One of the first things that Andrew Holness had done, which proves that what Bruce Golding was saying to him was just going through the left ears and coming out of the right ears, right? That he didn't hold the message. It's like the Bible says, for those where the prophet threw the corn amongst thorns, and some of the corns that fell on good soil and bring forth good bearings. Now, what Andrew Holness had done to Jamaica today, what we had witnessed, the Andrew Holness administration had done, it's a kind of shame. We are going to show clips and evidence that it is not only people in Jamaica who are concerned. It extends now to outside entities who also have serious concern. Andrew Holness, right, had created unprecedented actions within the Caribbean basin. Never before in terms of what Andrew Holness, the dark cloud that hung over Andrew Holness. Man of 28 accounts, $470 million running through various accounts through 3 of his entities, shell companies. This is a callous shame. And Andrew Holness-led administration that has $3 trillion now accounted for. We are going to get into the Jamaica Loop news, right? And hear the message from the Integrity Commission, right? So let us read, my people, right? Because we have a lot to break down tonight, right? So let us just take our time, right? Make sure that we are dealing with the details and facts accordingly. All right. Thank you. Now here it is. Integrity Commission submits investigation report to Parliament. The Integrity Commission IC has submitted another investigation report to Parliament and is now awaiting tabling. The report was submitted along with an associated indicative ruling and the full ruling from the Commission's Director of Corruption Prosecution. Right now, some of that report is what we are going to delve into, right, and break it down. Take it away, honey. Now, we are not going to delay. We are going to get into, right, these reports, right, and get into the detail. Now, before I get into the report, let me play back a clip that I played earlier, right, where Andrew Holness was warning, right, both his administration and the opposition, right, to don't interfere with the Integrity Commission investigators. People, I want to play this clip for it to resonate, right, in terms of what Andrew Holness said then and what he's doing now. Again, bring up that clip on it. Let it resonate to the people.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
All right. Okay. We all heard that. So then let us get into the responsibilities of the Integrity Commission doing their job. And let me just emphasize that they need to be left alone. People need to follow the Prime Minister's advice to leave the Integrity Commission to let them do their job. Well said, Mr. Prime Minister. Well said. Now, let us get into what Parliament, right, had released today. Let us get into that. Before we get into that, let us, since Daisy Maria is tuning in. Okay, maybe she has internet problem there. All right, let us get to the report. We can come back to Sister Maria. All right, let us get into the report. Okay, Sister Maria is here. Still not fully up. Okay, let us get into the report. All right, let us get into the report. Sister Maria is here.
Oh, I don't know.
Let us get into.
Let me see.
All right.
Okay, this one.
All right, we are going to take it from the Gleaner as it relates to what the Gleaner had broken down. Right? Company linked to Holness'S and its business partner breach building law in townhouse construction, right? According to the IC. An Integrity Commission investigation has found that a company linked to Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his business partner Norman Brown built an apartment complex in St. Andrew with more rooms than allowed. Wow. Breaching the law. Now, Brown is chairman of the State Urban Development Corporation and the Housing Agency of Jamaica. People, I want you to listen to this. The agencies report to Holness as Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Now, this is what we are talking about, the art of nepotism and cronyism. Now, in a report table in Parliament today, the Commissioner's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson, said the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation failed to ensure compliance with the terms and conditions of the building permit issued to Estate Bridge Development Company Limited. And Rattigan, I want to say to you, right, as it relates to how Andrew Holness, right, delegate, right, his men in respective areas as it relates to corruption. Now we have seen Delroy Williams, right, who was once mayor of the KSMNC, right? Now let me tell you people what is going on and link the corruption for the people, right? This is the reason why it was important for Delroy Williams, right, in terms of being the mayor at KSMNC. We are going to bang around tonight. But I'm going to tell you also about Delroy Williams' brother, who is Donovan Williams. Yes, people. Donovan Williams is a director in one of Andrew Holness, right, shell company. People, I just want to show you the level of corruption, the systemic corruption. So Donovan Williams, which is Delroy Williams' brother, Donovan Williams is a director in Andrew Holness, right, company. And so then, of course, Delroy Williams would have placed a blind eye to all the corruption that Andrew Holness is going. Andrew, right? We are going to go through this report. We are going to go through this report. And we are going to also connect certain dots. Their paperwork relating to 3 inspections, right, they conducted suggests that the development was compliant at all stages. Hear the lie, people. The investigator said of the KSMNC. Let us read it over. Their paperwork relating to the 3 inspections they conducted suggest that the development, right, was compliant at all stages. See the corruption. See the cover-up. The investigator said of the KSMNC. He also said the permit allowed for the construction of 4 2-bedroom units at the Wycliffe Close, right? Beverly Hills and St. Andrew. So let us give the breakdown. 2-bedroom units at the Wycliffe Close, right? A different area, Beverly Hills, right? And St. Andrew. Now, I am going to connect this. That is why when it comes to the Wycliffe Close situation, remember that the DPP claims that, you understand, the situation was long overdue and so statute of limitation and the case was statute bar. We are coming to you, DPP. with your level of corruption, with your Andrew Holness administration. But following an inspection, he found 4-bedroom townhouses. He said the finding was consistent with the report provided by Brown in December 2023. People, we are getting into it. Holness, wholly owned company, Imperial Investment Holding. Hey, people, Lord Jesus. Let me get into it. Along with one of his sons, right? A sister, and Brown are shareholders in Estate Bridge. You see how the Prime Minister go on? You see how the Prime Minister go on with the corruption? Now, Section 33 and 51 of the Integrity Commission Act empower the Director of Investigation to investigate irregularities around prescribed license. The law says a prescribed license is any license or permit granted by a public body. Take that away. Take that away. Now I'm going to the panel. I'm going to the panel. I'm going to the panel. Oh, Sister Mara, before we start to dig deep, I'm giving you the opportunity to meet and greet the people because tonight we are coming out with the belt. Let me before I talk about that, let me say this to the Jamaica Labour Party administration. I realize, you understand, that they discovered my IP address, and so they blocked me, you understand, from accessing their website. But let me tell you something. You see how Andrew wants to play unfair? I take with the belt, You want to take with the belt and go hide the belt because want to get beaten. Well, guess what? The neighbor them will live side of me. Andrew Holness. Care about 10 more belts. You understand? And give me for beat you. So regardless that you want to, you understand, utilize my IP address and deny me access. Yes. But let me say that before we put that out there. Sister Daisy, please meet and greet the people.
Hi, good evening to happy Tuesday evening to everybody in the chat. It's lovely to be here again. Jamaica, welcome to the space. Good to see you. Mystic and Marie, much respect. My brother, Rattigan. Greetings and salutations. Yeah, it's good to be in this space. And on a solemn day like today, when we're celebrating the 100th birthday of the great leader, Michael Norman Manley, otherwise known as Joshua. It is sad to have to discuss something like this, given what that man stood for and the blueprint that he set out of how a leader ought to conduct him or herself, and how a leader ought to have a vision for its people and lead with integrity and dignity and be purposeful in their approach to leadership. It is really, it puts a damper on this day in one sense, but we also, on the other hand, we celebrate the man that was and all that he has done and left for all of us to read and absorb and to see what it is, how we can look at some of the things that he did and apply it to 21st century. Because you look at this and you ask yourself the question, who is Andrew Holness representing? Because it's clearly not the people, not the people. And I do feel sorry for the Jamaican people. I do feel sorry for the Jamaican people, and I hope that they do their best to learn something on these social media spaces so that they can become elevated, edified, educated, informed voters. Vote on policies, not party color. Vote on legislation that will benefit their lives and their children's lives lives for generations to come, not on die-heartedness, because die-heartedness is killing them all. Vote for country, because country is more than party. So I'm glad we're in this space and looking at, this other aspect of the integrity report, which again is an indictment on the Prime Minister. And given that yesterday was International Corruption Day, something like that, it is sad that this is coming out today, but I look forward to sharing my thoughts on the subject.
All right, let me just say this.
One sec. Daisy, your microphone is a bit low. If you could try and adjust that.
Okay.
Meanwhile.
Let me say this to the panelists. Please take note going forward, because we are going to delve into the heart of the investigation, and of course we're going to ask the panel to participate as we go further. So Ratigan, based on the clip that I just displayed, I am going to remind you of something, and I want us to get back there. Now, the situation with the KSMSC, and where Andrew Holness comes into that space, now we understand why. Let me say to the public, now you understand why Andrew Holness, have 19 agencies under his responsibilities. There's no corruption can be done, and Andrew Holness don't know about any of them. Andrew Holness is where the buck stops. Let me go back and remind you people, from the onset that Andrew Holness ventured into the politics, Andrew Holness ventured into the politics to enrich himself, as it relates to his families, his elite friends, and we have the evidence, strong evidence to prove that, We had seen the interview that he had done with Abka Fitz-Henley, where he told Abka Fitz-Henley lie that he came into the politics with $47 million. For people who are following me, you don't know that we had established that, and we don't know that that's a lie. We have his wife, Juliet Holness, who married in 1997, said they didn't have any money. So, we debunked that. You understand? But just to show you how Andrew Holness was, preparing, his pathway in corruption. Now, we have seen Andrew Holness from the onset decided not to sign the code of conduct because of what he knows he was going to execute. And he had executed it. So we have mens rea, we have actus reus, intent and action being executed right then and there. Now, we are going to, Ratty, can you find the situation with Juliet Holness? Because I am coming tonight to connect certain dots. So we have that now with Andrew Holness. Ratty, see if you can dig up the situation with Juliet Holness building. You understand, where Juliet Holness had committed the same breach that our husband committed. And not only that, what they had done as it relates to the situation with the National Water Commission, director, who was in breach, and where the DPP used statute of limitation, to say the case was statute bar. So we are connecting the dots tonight, showing now what the Integrity Commission investigators are revealing, the uttermost corruption, the plain corruption, in terms of how we are going to tie it up tonight and show clear that the DPP, you understand, is in course with the corruption. Now, we have seen several breach as it relates to the $800 million, apartment complex that Juliet Holness, had been constructed, as it relates to, what's the area? where Juliet owners had constructed at least flat.
Yeah.
We had seen that can Ratty, you find any
No, may I look feet.
I have it with the show that we had done it on.
Okay.
Cut it up.
All right, so Rattigan, tell us when you find it. I want you to show Jamaican something. So all of the people who are listening, I'm saying it. Here you have Andrew Holness, right, under investigation. And where Andrew Holness' wife, right, is the Speaker of the House. Not only that Andrew Holness' wife is the Speaker of the House, Andrew Holness' wife sits on the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. Yet, Jamaican people haven't seen all of that, right? Still, we have not gotten a national outcry. After seeing all of that, we are now the Prime Minister himself, right, as it relates to the Integrity Commission, is in clear breach. Clear breach. And where you have the KSMAC, right, willing to lie and to protect the Prime Minister, right, as it relates to the report that we had just read. Now, here we have, right, Juliet Holness, the wife, also committed the same breach. So I want to bring up the documents. As soon as Rattigan find it, right, you're going to bring up the documents.
May I reach out to Kevin, but we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it. Yeah, what happened is that up at Lee's flat, she was authorized to build 72 rooms, around 72 rooms. And it was based on the density. They look at the size of the lot, and they have a formula that they come up with.
Ratty, before you talk, because we have an old clip with you speaking on it. So we're gonna play the old clip just to refresh your memory.
Okay.
Right, play the old clip.
million project where we talk about.
What?
Yeah, this is 800 million. And this is the Forest Civic Association. This is the group of people affected by what's going on. And this is what they did. And I'll just show you a little bit. They reach out to a whole bunch of, right here they talk about how it was approved and what happened. No, by the way, I have a ATI with NEPA and KCMC for the original documents, because the people can't get them documents. But that is what they were supposed to. This is what they were supposed to do: 6 2-story townhouse, 2 3-story apartment blocks, right? And you see where it said block C and E containing basement for entertainment. She actually put housing in the basement with balcony, but you can't see it from the front. It's at the back. So we have all of those documents. But this is the place right here. No, this is, you see where they want to bring this is where they want to bring the road in. The road originally was supposed to be over here.
Yes.
That was it. Then they move it over here. These are the people. This plot right here. The owners, they're in court with her. They actually sold her this section. This section, right? We say Unit B and Unit D. Right, they sold her that section. She owned this section. So they sold her this section. And then she started putting, like, right here. Where is it? It's you can't see, but she started putting up like parking lots on the latest section. And then when they finish with this road, it's going to run across our veranda.
Yeah.
Who's ready to hatch some cool pets? Click here to make your
run across our veranda. And then the absorption, there's a whole bunch of violation. That's another view of it. That's
Whoa.
this is where the folks who sold her the lot, they still live there. And they
Yes.
sold her this, and then see she's getting ready to build another one here, which she shouldn't.
But Ratty, what I wanted to speak about as it relates to what the permit, right, allowed her to do, because
All right.
yes, that is what I wanted to speak on, Ratty.
See, Titus, huh? No, it's 2.6 acre, right?
Yes.
And then at 2.6 acres, they have something called a density plan, which says you can only get a certain amount of rooms on a certain piece of land.
Yes.
And up there, you're only supposed to get 2.678, right? But somehow she got approval for 95.
So how she got that approval?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get the approval from them now. And then look at what they found out. They found out that she has already gone in excess of 120 rooms.
What?
Originally, she should only have 78 because of the 2.6 acres. She's only supposed to have 78, but she's gone over 120. And remember, look at this. Remember, I showed you that this right here, Unit G, that hasn't been built yet.
Whoa.
Right? And then this one back here, Kevin Odea, because I would show you what happened is that it's below some of these. You said she built this 6-story thing here.
Yes.
She claims that it's 3-story because at the ground level it's only 3 floors go up, but at the back it's 6. At the back it's 6, and she turned the basement into apartments. We have the plans. We saw the plans. She turned the basement into apartments right there. Into, I think all of them are like 1 bedrooms because you can see the bedroom, the bathroom, the living room, the kitchen, all of that right here. So she hasn't finished building it, but all of this is on hold right now. But this is what she should only be looking at 78 rooms, and somehow they give her 95.
And then she's gone to 120.
She's gone, yeah. She's gone more than 120.
So then, so now, Ratty, we can understand why after the People's National Party won KSMSC, that was the reason for her to go down to the office and faint.
Yeah, because right now, what they're supposed to do, you see this right here? You see this right? Yeah, man.
Ratty, take the way on it. Hold on. Before you say anything, you understand, because we have to connect the dots for the people. We have to show the systemic corruption for the people. So then we have the wife, you understand, that involved in all those breaches, right? Now we have the prime minister involved in all those breaches. No, we are going to pull back the curtain a bit and show, you understand, where the NWC, you understand, breach in the similar pattern of the breaches that we have seen, but the systematic corruption continues, and where the DPP let off the NWC without
Barnett.
Yes, so let us put up that. We are just connecting the dots for the people to show the systemic corruption. You just pick it up.
Yeah, but it's gone in the mix of everything there.
Okay, so let us bring back the people, right? Now, when it comes to Andrew Holness's level of corruption, it is just, it gone above board. It gone above board. And for those who want to defend Andrew Holness, right, it cannot be defended. For those who want to use their platform as a spin machine, there is no way that Andrew Holness can be defended. These are plain, outright corruption. Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister himself, engaged in all of these atrocities. It is very serious, people. Now look at this. Too late to charge NWC president and his wife, as according to the DPP. President of the state-owned National Water Commission, NWC, Dr. Mark Barnett and his wife Annette appear to have escaped criminal prosecution over alleged breaches of an environmental permit. The same situation with Andrew Holness, the same situation with Juliet Holness, and the same situation with this gentleman here for their St. Andrew Development Project. A ruling by the country's prosecutorial authority noted that the allegations of irregularities made against the Barnett support the laying of criminal charges against them. This is what you, right, DPP, you agreed. Let me read over in terms of what the DPP agreed to. A ruling by the country's prosecutorial authority noted that allegations of irregularities made against the Barnett support the laying of criminal charges against them, but said the passage of time has made the case statute barred. This is where I want to argue with the DPP. DPP, you know fully well, right, as it relates to the timeline in investigation, and where you and the investigators are supposed to work, right, anticipating that timeline, right, and make sure you put all evidence together. But yet, you wait until, right, the time clicked in. You are going to say that the passage of time has made the case statute barred. A case is statute barred when the time frame stipulated in law for it to be placed before the court has expired. Take that away. Let us get to our panel before we get further into more deep investigation here. So here that you have established a pattern of behavior with Jamaica Labour Party administration, you understand, and the leader at the helm is Andrew Holness. You understand the pattern of behavior as relates to nepotism, cronyism. Andrew Holness' tentacles of corruption stretch wide. You understand, and breaking down the norms of our institution who's supposed to uphold the law. Let me just take it to, of course, let us go back to Rattigan, since Rattigan was speaking there relating to Juliet Holness. And people, Juliet Holness is the Speaker of the House. Remember that. While her husband is under investigation. Crazy. Yes,
you know, it's funny. I look on Naki in the chat, and him says it's going to be interesting to see how Andrew get out of this. I don't think he might get out of this, Naki. I don't think he might get out of this. But you know what? There's a pattern and practice of this blatant disregard for the building code. We see it with Mark Barnett. I think he was, he got a permit to build 2 3-story buildings comprised of 12 one-bedrooms. 12 one-bedroom, right? Instead, him have 6 2-bedroom and 6 3-bedroom. If you build 12 one-bedroom, you know. And him say, hell with that. I'm going to build what me want to build. And him build 6 2-bedroom and 6 3-bedroom. Now, the Honorable Speaker of the House, she's supposed to build 78 rooms. She gone over 120 and she not stopped yet. Now the Prime Minister now, him supposed to build 2 buildings. I got 2 buildings with 2 bedrooms.
Yes.
And him build 4 buildings, right? With 2 bedrooms each or something. I mean, this is a blatant disregard. Any other place, any other civilized country in this world, any other country where you have building codes respected, this wouldn't happen. But I must share a story with the audience. We talked about it earlier today. I got a call today from South Africa, and our Prime Minister is a laughing stock, Africa. This thing has circulated. The 28 bank account, them can't wrap them head around it. They must say, what am I doing with 28 bank accounts? And they say, we have read your integrity commission's report on him. And what I'm find fascinating is that him are the man who shepherded that legislation in 2017, became effective in 2018. And him are the man who every year, December 9th, him get up and him talk about what a wonderful job the Integrity Commission is doing. But we notice him not say it that year. Him not say today what? The 10th, him not say it yesterday. We see what him said. We see, I mean, you're going to deal with it. We see what him said. But him not say what him said the previous years about the Integrity Commission. And what's interesting is what the other actors them say about the Integrity Commission. And then him have an information minister. She might as well just add Miss in front of her title. And when we say Miss, me not talk MS or MIS or MISS. Me talk about MIS, one S, and then slap on information upon it. Misinformation minister. She come out and say, "Oh, the prime minister is happy about the judgment of the court." How the hell could he be happy when him asked for 28 things and them only give him three, not even three, then give him three, right? Then give him three. And then when the on top of it, him say, "Your Honor, in a chambers, him say, Your Honor, I wanna appeal." And the judge say, hell no, no appeal from me. You have to go to the appeal court if you want to appeal, but me not give you leave to go get no. You have to go to go get it yourself, a special appeal. Now think about it, people. You ask for 28 things, you get 3. You say, "Judge, me think you're wrong enough. Give me leave for me can go appeal." The judge said no. And then you come out and say, "I am very happy with the judge's decision. I am very pleased. I couldn't be happier. Me get what me want." But I tell you what, the judge said to herself, and I'm just saying this, people, because I'm putting myself in the seat of the judge. Judge said, I'm going to send this fool a little bit further. I am going to send this fool a little bit further. Or in another way, open the gate for the fool. Make him go down there. Because there's no turning back. Because the things that Wema asks for, the court not going to give him, cannot give him. When the judge said, listen, if you can prove that there is no statutory authorization for the Integrity Commission to refer the case to FID, then you know that is foolishness. Because there are at least, almost a half a dozen provisions where they can do it. So, mistake, look, this gentleman here, he has dug himself into a hole. And, I was told a long time ago, if you dig a hole, if you're not the one, you dig a hole, and you throw up and see the dirt will come back down upon you. Stop. But him don't know if it stop. I have one more phrase for that. One more saying for that action there. Them say any man can make mistakes. Yes. Anybody can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error.
Exactly.
Only an idiot. And this prime minister has demonstrated time and time again that there is something terribly wrong with his judgment. When I say terribly wrong with his judgment, I'm not going to say that he needs professional assistance as far as his mental capacity. It might very well be that him just not care, that him feel like Jamaica, for me one, and everybody do the same thing, and we are run things, and we can do what we want to, and I feel we fiefdom this, and them, them people, them just part of our kingdom. We can do whatever we want. But I'll leave it at that because we have a splendid guest list here, and so we just want to move on and hear everybody have to say.
All right. Sister Maria, I want to just put you in this space. Right, Sister Maria, what you have to say as it relates to the presentation?
And Andrew has a thing for the number 28. You had 28 bank accounts, then you had 28 complaints, and 25. So maybe you need to get rid of 3 bank accounts and bring it down to 25. But I'm wondering, Sister sent me a text and asked, when are they going to send in the demolition crew like they did in St. Catherine?
Yes.
And you talk about earlier, Brian, about traditions and norms. Andrew has been violating traditions and norms in the Jamaican space since he was in opposition. Started the Constitution and everything what he did was just in violation of things that were just accepted. And I'm not saying he couldn't improve and stuff, but he didn't do that. He just tear things down, and instead of putting in other things that would work and make the space better, He just bringing some things and became a demolition man, quite frankly. And you start to think about all the corruption that surrounds this prime minister. Why does he believe that it is his duty for the Jamaican people to still vote for him and put him in office with all of this? And if this, just put this at the foot of the opposition leader. If this was Mark Golding, he would be beating him morning, noon, and night and saying how he's corrupt and he has no integrity and it's a dark day and he should come out of politics and Jamaica deserves better. Remember what he did to Richard Azan up in Spalding, and what Richard Azan did was to do something, was to go around the bureaucracy and do something to benefit the people who needed it, poor people. And they said, even though it was poor people benefiting, it was a dark day. So from then we should realize that he really had no vision for the Jamaican people. And, again, going back to today and what the significance of today, December 10th. And I listened to Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley's speech, and I thought to myself, this sounds like a speech that other prime ministers in Jamaica could give, but not Andrew Holness. Not Andrew Holness. And it's a shame. He doesn't have the depth, he has no vision, and I don't know what his purpose is outside of enriching himself. And I don't think he was in that space, and I don't think he was qualified to be in that space because it would have been an indictment on him to sit in that space and hear how another leader speaks so eloquently about what it means to be a leader and how Michael Manley set that standard, which she as a little girl embraced and is now on the world stage. The way she conducts herself, if you just shut your eyes, you can see Michael Manley making the same kind of pronouncements that she is on the world stage. Where is our leader? Where is Andrew Holness? And we look at so many things happening on the international stage where the voice of the Jamaican leader should be more pronounced and effective and leading a charge of this is our position, and we do not see that. But you know what we see? We see an IC report that came out a few months ago at the end of June, and it's about him. It's about him violating, not being transparent with the Integrity Commission. Yesterday was International Corruption Day. He didn't give the speech that he normally gives. What we see today is a report, another report about corruption. Ratty just spoke about his wife's major project and all those violations. But what Rattigan didn't also talk about was the environmental aspect of her project and what the effects, not the short term, the medium to long term effects that will have on the community of Leeds Flat. And nobody seems to care. These reports just come out and the local media just talk about it, becomes a news headline, and it is the social media space that has to be beating the drum on these issues so the Jamaican people understand that they have a leader who doesn't care for them or about them, yet he only wants them to vote him back into office, vote his illicit 6, 8, 9, 10 back into office. Don't worry, don't look over here, nothing to see here. Forget that your schools are broken, forget the hospitals on the road, forget that there's $1 trillion accountability problem. Forget all of those things. And the reason we know those monies aren't accounted for is that we see the broken infrastructure. It's obvious, it is in everybody's faces. It's written about. Rainfall, the hospital is a dry where the hospital, the roof leaks, and the nurses have to be bailing the water out. So we look at those things and you have to ask the question, when is he going to have some shame and just resign? When is the Jamaica Labour Party going to come forward and find a leader and it's not even about a no confidence vote at this time, because the man is a dead weight on his own party. When are they going to say, you know something, the party is bigger than one individual, and do something about it? Replace him. Do I see anybody else in the party who is qualified to be the leader? No, because like they're all in the same boat. Because if you're going to go with Tufton, Tufton has a $650 billion accountability problem in his ministry. And he takes accountability for nothing. So I don't see who they're going to replace him, like stop shopping black dog for monkey. Don't see who they're going to replace him, but something has to be done. And if that isn't done, if they don't find a better leader for the party, then I say to the Jamaican people, you've got to wake up and realize that none of them care about you, because Prime Minister is enriching himself. He's in violations all over. And remember now that it was Feder who was busy federating and doing all them things on a KSAMC, that he couldn't even spend the money to clean up the markets downtown. He couldn't spend the money on that. And he was the mayor at the time when all of these violations of permits were happening. So it is right for them to go in and do some demolition. Fair is fair and right is right. Because if this was somebody else, they would have done that. So the law should apply equally. And I'm saying again, when the Jamaican people have to wake up and realize that they have to put themselves first now and not a political party. And they must now ask the Prime Minister the question, why should we vote for you, given that your integrity has been so solid and shot? We have no faith in you. Why should we continue to support you?
Mystic, you're muted.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. I'm not talking like telling like everybody I hear me, Okay. So unprecedented, right, as it relates to what we have seen happening. We are now going to bring Jamaics in this space. But before I do, right, just to tell the Jamaican people, locally and in the diaspora, never in our history of our politics, none of our political leaders, never under the scrutiny, right, from the IC or the Contractor General, Andrew Holness, unprecedentedly, right, take that record without any delay. Let me just bring in Jamaics in the space, young, brilliant, and talented Jamaics. Please.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you again, amongst great minds. Let me start by saying that I'm 31 years old. I've never voted, but we're in a very, very important time in our history. And it means that we're in an era where education is at our fingertip and we must use it wisely. As Mr. Rattigan said some time ago on his show, your finger is your power. We're experiencing a Jamaica where cronyism, kleptocracy is something that we're seeing on a daily basis. And a lot of people will hear the word kleptocracy and thinking, oh, it's just a big word. Break it down. It is corruption, not just in one place, but it is a system of corruption. And as a result of that, the Jamaican people are seeing it. And corruption, people need to know this. It steals from the kids going to school. It steals from our health system. It steals from our roads being maintained. It steals from you being so unsafe in your society, because corruption fuels violence. And when you don't have an educated society, we will see people like them just getting a chance to go around and to do whatever they want in Jamaica. And this needs to change. And it's good that we're in a space now where we can get information breaking down to us. Our local media has failed the Jamaican people by underreporting, misreporting, or not even care about how they bring the news. These days, when you look in the news, a lot of different distractions and a lot of foolishness they will have in the news, right? And let me just highlight something as well. Given that the people look at this government and say they will give you a handout with the $20,000, yeah, tax rebate as they call it. Just the other day, just yesterday, there was something where scammers put up saying that the prime minister is giving out money. It is just the psychology and the atmosphere that we're living in. We're living in an atmosphere where the top of the stream is so dirty. So therefore, everybody doing what he has set as president over the country, which is corruption, cronyism, right? And you look at Jamaica, it's sharing resemblance of a failed state. When we look, we have a weak government in terms of setting clear laws when it comes down to corruption. We see widespread violence, and we don't feel safe in our country. We have economical collapse because we have two negative period of no growth or decline, 1.2, 2.8. So we're in a technical recession. This is a real thing. It's the reality that we're living in. Humanitarian crisis, we see that is violating the human rights on a daily basis, right? And we have a prime minister that is there breaching the policies of Jamaica over and over, and then you expect Jamaicans to fall in line and be disciplined people when you are telling the people subconsciously that it doesn't make sense holding the law. And I just want to remind our Jamaican people, as St. Augustine said, hope has two beautiful daughters, anger and courage. You have to be angry at the way things are and have courage that they don't remain as such. And these things we have to ensure that we have a voice today's date, right? And we as Jamaicans, we have to ensure that we ask for what we want and demand for what we want. The society is not going to get better by us folding our hands, sitting down saying that nothing now get better. This is a common phrase that we use. But I want to tell Jamaicans here and abroad to say that the man who say that he can't and the man who say that he can, they're both right. The man who say that he can will get up and do something, and the man who say that he can't will always fold his hand. I'll rest there for now, but very important information. I got some written down, and we'll speak a little bit more.
Sounds good. All right. Wonderfully said, Jamites. Now we are going to delve a little bit deeper in some of the heart of the corruption, right? It is a kind of shame, right? It reached crisis proportion. Let me have that. Now, without any delay, let me just get into that. So bring up that on right. We're going to bring up the thing about this prime minister here, right? He speaks what he knows that's supposed to be done, but yet his action is totally contrary. So I want for people to understand who is Andrew Holness. One that we describe as a political fanatist. As I said, he will tell you all the good things, right? But trust me, his action is totally contrary. And we are going to prove it tonight. Now, without any delay, right? Let us get into the Prime Minister addressing as it relates to Anti-Corruption Day. And amazing in terms of what the Prime Minister is saying. And then, right, what we know that the Prime Minister under the gun for. So just look at these people. It's just unbelievable. Let us get into that. All right, let us get into that. All right. Okay. Now look at these people. I want you to look at this. Unbelievable. Now let us get to the Prime Minister remarks. I'm not going to read no one else's remarks but the Prime Minister. Now let us, yes, increase the font. Yeah, that's good.
Hold on, let me just bring
I want to show the people, you understand, the hypocritical behavior of this man. Well, he's not an artist, he's a liar. So we are not to expect anything better. You understand? This man is despicable. You understand? Now, here is the Prime Minister. This is the Prime Minister speech. No. Jamaica joins the rest of the world in the annual observation of International Anti-Corruption Day, right? This year, on December 9, the day is being marked under the theme, Uniting with Youth Against Corruption. Prime Minister, that's really come out there. Shaping tomorrow's integrity. Lord Jesus, please. Look how we must shape tomorrow's integrity at the KSMNC. You understand? To cook up report. Look how your wife has shaped integrity at least flat. Jamaica remains committed to eradicating corruption in our country. People, you hear this? Hold on. Now the Prime Minister, this was under investigation. Illicit enrichment. Now hear the Prime Minister. This day serves as a poignant reminder of the sheer responsibility we all carry in building a society free from the corrosive effects of corruption. And Prime Minister, why not just resign and left out of the Parliament? Why you not resign? As a matter of fact, Prime Minister, why you and your 48 members are 49 not just resign and just leave? Because the way you're saying, Prime Minister, you said we all carry right in building a society free from the corrosive effects of corruption. But you and your man never did that. Me don't understand that, Prime Minister. Right? You and your entire administration is there. Now, International Anti-Corruption Day calls on everyone, Prime Minister, to be cognizant of the effects of corruption. Hey, this is a really joke. No, Jamaican people, this is a really joke. Now, indeed, to stamp out corruption from any society requires an integrated approach with government, agencies, the private sector, the partners and citizens working together to build a better society. We can't believe that must come out of the Prime Minister now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now we have to wonder now if the Prime Minister is either Brother Nancy or Brother Tukuma. You remember them the story there? And you know, say them the two, they are a big old trickster, Brother Nancy, right? And Brother Tukuma. But no, like the Prime Minister have split personality. The Prime Minister about Brother Nancy and Tukuma. All right, let's go on. The administration that I lead. No, hear the boss talk. No, people, look here now. Hear this now, people. The administration that I lead has worked to provide legislative and other support to strengthen anti-corruption laws and policies. Well, so let me ask a question now. It look like me and Rattigan are dons and Jamaics and Daisy. No, we are dons. Me want to know who they deal with judiciary review to move what? To get rid of what? To get rid of the Corruption Act. You understand that? Hinge on illicit enrichment. Right? Section 14, subsection 5. People of Jamaica. No, Andrew Holness want to remove this. No, you were the Prime Minister. People have to read it back over, man. I can read this over, man. This is unbelievable. You're the Prime Minister. The administration that highly has worked to provide legislation. No wonder why all are like a woman turn upon the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. And your wife upon the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. No wonder them the people there. Upon the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. They do what? The administration that I lead has worked to provide legislative and other support to strengthen anti-corruption laws and policies. I lie. Understand? No, man. No, man. No, no, sir. This demonstrates the government's resolute commitment to upholding the highest standard of governance. The government is committed to expanding the public awareness, strengthening investigative capacities. Then let me ask you a question. Who deal with Section 53, subsection 3? No, you the Muslim people. No one can know. No, you that deal with Section 53, subsection 3, that the Integrity Commission investigators cannot speak on no form of investigation until it is stable. No, you put them under the predicament, the boss. No, what is we are here? What are this unbelievable. No, the government is committed to expanding public awareness, strengthening investigative capacities, and enhancing technical expertise to ensure a comprehensive approach to tackle corruption at its roots. Me don't know. So then, all the $21 billion that can original after ago, you see what time we done with it tonight? We are going to get into the art of the corruption. And you think we start yet? Wait. The government will continue to raise awareness, promote compliance, and with anti-corruption measures and improve responsiveness to public concern. See the now. See the now. Janet Calder, when Janet Calder, you understand, get into the matter, meet the matter. Janet Calder, first report, $1.7 trillion unaccounted for. Now, see there? Janet Calder came out with the second phase, and where it reached now, $3 trillion. And here what the Prime Minister said, the government will continue to raise awareness, promote compliance with anti-corruption measures, and improve responsiveness to public concerns. The emphasis on public engagement and education plays a crucial role in empowering citizens. Alive, empowering citizens. Then we want to know if you are an empowered citizen, right? Or you block my IP address. Come now, come talk to me now. You're the empowered citizen. Or your administration block my IP address. Me can go on jump website. Me can go on the Integrity Commission website. Me can go on Jamaica.gov. And hear what you say, sir? You little hypocrite, you dirty hypocrite. You reinforce the importance of transparency and accountability in governance. Together, we are working towards a future right to build an integrity, fairness, and ethical leadership. Now, integrity, fairness, and ethical leadership. I wonder if, hold on, you forgot to hear the girls and bubblegum. Talk to me now. You forgot that you're the girls and bubblegum. Now, as we work together towards building a corruption-free society, I encourage all Jamaicans to show dedication to this vital cause. The government remains committed to advancing transparency, accountability, and integrity. That you don't know. You have to go explain now what I go on a case and see with the building the way I build. You understand? How your wife have built a lease flat, how them gonna go? Ensuring that Jamaica upholds the highest standard of ethical governance for future generations. I'm come talk to me, man. The Prime Minister, Doctor, the most despicable Andrew Holness. Me don't know about them, the word that I have a name out there, so, because most of them are buying by them. Take that away. Take that away. Let me go to the point. Take that away. Let me go to my distinguished point. No, Rattiga. Now, as a matter of fact, wait. Rattiga, may I leave you because may I leave you a little bit. Now, Jamaica, come back in the program. Come back in the program, Jamaica. You hear what? You're going to go on this one.
Boy, I want
Jamaica.
What are we fighting? Are we fighting anti-corruption or corruption? Which is it? We probably need to call, what's her name there? What's her name?
Juliet Cuthbert Flynn.
There you go. We need to ask her.
Unbelievable.
Because all of this pretty writing you just read about Mr. Byron. Is this a cut and paste? Because he could never sit down and start.
I must cut out PS.
Him finger them that must have burned him at all these things. And as him said, we must raise our voice in concert against the government. And we demand in good government. And what we see the Prime Minister producing is not it. Thank God for Ms. Calder, sorry,
Yes.
to come and show us that $3 trillion, $3 trillion, not billion with a B, and not M for million, but T for trillion. Where is the Jamaican people money that we're asking? Because the road them not look good. The classroom them is a disgrace. The hospital is not where anybody wants to go. It's like you're going to the morgue if you go to the hospital. The economy is on the floor. Where's the money? So all of these beautiful talking, and when we're looking at your action, it is a complete contrast. That is not enough. I can't this a government I will pay for. You are the same one who tell us that after the raise, just to justify the raise, you said that you're going to ensure that MP job description is posted. Where is the job description? It's what we always hear. Pathologically mendacious. A big liar. We cannot have somebody leading the country that lie whenever him feel like, and just say things just to make it look good for news. So as you said, Prime Minister, for us to demand good government and good governance and raise our voices, we, the young people of Jamaica, we're raising our voices against you, because this type of living is not sustainable. If we continue on this path, we and Haiti are rub shoulder. With all great respect to our Asian people, they are fighting a different type of warfare that we're fighting, right? And if we continue on this path, we don't have a Jamaica for 5-10 years from now. So, Mr. Prime Minister, asking for the third term, the Jamaican people are telling you, you don't deserve it. You have a lot to answer to. And instead of saying that you want a third term, probably you need a silver bangle. Because what you've been doing to the Jamaican people, it is outright disgraceful. And Jamaicans, we deserve more than this. To hear all of the stuff that him talk about, and when we're looking, we're seeing nothing that is actually adding up to your talking. It is not 300% well spent. It is a disgrace to the Jamaican people. And I'll yield there for now, but trust me. Now,
Indeed, Jamaics, it's a disgrace. Sister Maria, just jump in right in. Look, I'm going to leave Brother Rattigan for the answer now. Jump in right in, Sister Maria.
Yeah, it's important to leave Rattigan for last, because remember, Rattigan said, that he was listening out for what he is going to say yesterday. So he heard him. I was like, no, we can't say that because Rattigan listen to me. So if I say that, I'm going to hang myself. So cannot give him. He couldn't allow you to win in a Ratty. So you had to come up with something different. But I don't know what goes through Andrew Holness'S mind. I would not like to be in his body, because he promised that he would be a government for young people and bring change and bring all these good things, and you're going to sleep with the window and your doors open and milk and honey going flow on the streets of Jamaica. And he promised all this transformation, but it's only transformation for himself, his family, and his friends. Jamaica talked about this increase that they gave themselves, and the job description. The job description, which was basically another cut and paste, cost $1.5 billion. to come up with, and we don't see anything of any aspect of it, being applied. So I really don't know what purpose he is there for when you see so much. And you notice though that important agencies that deals with permits and anything to do with real estate and land and those things are in his office. You look at NEPA, it's in his office. NEPA is a very crucial agency because it deals with environmental issues as well as the beaches and prime real estate. It's in his office. You look at any heart, it's in his office. And you also look at all these misappropriations of monies, and you look at monies unaccounted for, and a lot of it is also in his office. Not making and not casting any aspersions against the man and his character, but you have 28 bank accounts. In the height of a pandemic, you were busy opening and closing accounts. You even opened an account without $0 and with $0.00. So what are we to deduce from that? And we see everything just going, money is just going down the drain, all kinds of cost overruns, and nobody seems to care. And we are supposed to believe this prime minister that he should get a third term. The question is why? And when he says that the people must talk about their achievement, what achievement is he talking about? Because the only person that has achievement is Anthony Holness. So I yield to my brother Rattigan to just take it away.
All right, Brother Ratty, take it away as what Sister Maria said. Please take it away, sir.
One of the things that this Prime Minister harped on for some time was the part, and you hear him say that he's promoting compliance with anti-corruption measures and he's about passing legislation. I will give him credit for passing the Integrity Commission Act. But there's another one called the Unexplained Wealth Orders. And even the PSOJ is upset with him because he said it's not a priority. And he said this as late as October of this year. He said, no, it's not a priority. And PSOJ was saying, we have CMOC, and the whole purpose of CMOC when we established it in 2020 was to deal with corruption. That was at its core. Yes, we had to deal with the reformation of the JCF and had to deal with the development of the penal system and the judiciary. Everybody get their money, but it was corruption, and I'm saying back completely off it. Now, here's where me not really understand him. Him say that he might promote compliance with anti-corruption measures. And this is the same man who, in his affidavit and his submission to the court, him asked for the repeal of Section 14, subsection 5 of the Corruption Prevention Act and other things about the Integrity Commission Act. And when him get to court, where him the people, him say, Judge, I joke me I make. Just take it out. Yeah, it wasn't the Integrity Commission who argued and get rid of that, Him himself, to his representatives, him said, no. Forget about the Corruption Prevention Act. I joke me that make me that drink when me write up and tell them things and don't worry about it. Leave it alone. And so you have to wonder what kind of prime minister is this. Now him claim now in this recent submission. Him claim that him not own the property up at Beverly Hills. Not a director, not a owner. Yet, at the time when him applied for the permit, he was. Imperium had a stake in Estate Bridge. He was.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand this gentleman here. It's like everywhere him turn. Now him claim that he's been targeted. No. Think about the unlimited gall of this man. You were investigated, right? You claim that you are the man who has set the thing straight. You go get rid of corruption. By the way, when you hear somebody tell us them get rid of corruption, run from them people there. You cannot get rid of corruption. You can control corruption, but exactly. You can never ever get rid of corruption. It's impossible. You deal with humans, and we have some base needs like greed and jealousy and envy and love money. So you cannot stop it. So when you hear them say, "Oh, we're going to a corruption-free society," it will never. When you hear them things that look upon them seriously. I know this man I know come and him say that I feel as if I've been targeted by the Integrity Commission. He must say these people have turned against me. And that's him I said these people have turned as if so enough to do them job because you are the prime minister, right? And in fact, remember no, he was the man who said that in fight forget the provision inside there that would call for the gazetting of 2 statutory declarations. Prime Minister, leader of the opposition. And him saying in his speech, I am going to advocate for more. I'm going to advocate for more. We start with 2, but we're going to advocate for more. Yeah. And remember, now, he was the same prime minister in a 2000 when they had debate the Corruption Prevention Act. He never said nothing about section 14, subsection 5. He never said nothing about it. He never said nothing when them applied against other people. Not only when them investigated other people for possible illicit enrichment, but when them charge other people and brought them before the court. He never said nothing about it. But as soon as them touch him, step on him can, him just say, no, we can't have this. We have to get rid of this liar because these laws not apply to me. Now, once you start saying that, you start questioning yourself about, is this the true administration of justice? Or is this discretionary, where you allow discretion to certain people? You know what I'm saying? Equal justice under the law? Yeah, for a certain class of people. But for another class, no, it not apply. Or you use the same law, but it apply to one set of people, but it not apply to another set of people. And I want to ask my Jamaican people, I want to ask all of them, particularly those who support the prime minister and support the party. This has nothing to do with that. All I'm asking you to do, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is your support warranted? Based on everything that you've seen. Think about it objectively. Displace your emotion from it and just look at it, black and white. Do I want a man to represent me who have 28 bank book and me not have none? And when I'm asking about the holding company when him start out with, ADMAT, by the way, him claim says that estate planning device. What he mean by that is a way for don't escape scrutiny, don't pay no taxes, or less no tax burden. Put it in another country. Remember, no, you're supposed to lead the country and set example, And you want people pay them taxes when them earn, when them work. No, you take your money out and you send it going to St. Lucia. And then when the question asks, where you get the money from, by the way, brother? Where you get the money from? When that question they ask, mum's the word. But people are wanting to remember this. And here's where my friends in Africa, my friends in Europe, and my friends in Asia call me and laugh off of me. They might treat me like dog now. Here's why. Because they must say, how is it that your prime minister have 28 bank book? And at the same time I have 28 bank book, is the same time $3 trillion go missing. I'm gonna say, well, my prime minister name hang out with my cousin. Make what you know me I go with this. My cousin named Jefta. There's a magazine no Jefta too. Jefta magician. Jefta magician. He must have much a magician.
Remember Jefta magician, but remember the my cousin fly.
Okay.
You understand what I say? So you say we're strong about you?
Yeah. What mistake? Think about it, mistake. Jamaics, think about it. Everybody in the chat, everybody will watch and think about it. 28 bank book. When the African them come to them and they think about it, 28 bank book. And at the same time, I have 28 bank book. 3 trillion Jamaican dollars unaccounted for. And them say, you see the connection? Them ask me, is there a connection? Do you see the connection? I couldn't answer them on them. No, I want them to know, say, there's one guy who is the FBI, is the functional equivalent of the FBI director in South Africa. Them have a group over there called the Hawks. Used to be called the Scorpions. Them call them the Hawks now, right? And they are what the FBI is for the rest of the world, right? That man went to Jamaica. They made have a conference, I think it was early this year. No, last year. Was it last year?
I think it's the last year.
It was the last year.
Yes.
And I tell the man, because the man is a personal friend of mine, I used to do business with him. And I call him and I say, listen, you see, when you go to Jamaica now, hear me why you do. Why you sit down with the Jamaicans and why you help them. Because we have similar issues, but I tried to be proactive. Jamaica still in the 1870s when it comes to policing, them still reactive. I try to be proactive. I try, and your ultimate goal is to be predictive. Not get there yet. Still in the early stages of being proactive. Sit down with him and see if you can establish a sister relationship. And can come up with some ideas and second people here from South Africa to Jamaica and likewise from Jamaica. The man come and sit down there for almost a week, Nobody chat to the man. Nobody chat to the man. None. Me talk to him today. I spoke to him when he was in Jamaica twice. 3 times actually when he was in Jamaica. I talk to him when he land. I talk to him when the conference start and when the conference end, and nobody not talk to him. Because you know why? We suffer from arrogance. Jamaicans, arrogance is not a bad thing, at times, but sometimes when you overdo it, it can be terrible. Jamaicans are now Jamaicans, at least the ones I deal with at that level, the management level, them think them know everything, and you can't tell them nothing, and show off when you come and try to show them something. Imposing anything upon them, because like I tell them, I said, look, I have a whole heap of stuff, I want to download it. And what will work for the Jamaican experience, you use it or you show on it. But I said to them, I know that everything I bring here won't work. I know. But I know also that I can bring some things that will work. Them not have no interest in that. I know them not have no interest in that. Because them know, say, if me get in a position at Jamaica of authority, enough of them like Jamaica say go wear the silver bangle, Holy and guess what them all wear the silver bangle? Me nah make them wear it at Jamaica. No. And I say me not trust the judiciary. But me want them come right here, so come serve sometime. And then when them come here, so what me want to do is me want to take away the house them, me want to take away the car them, me want to take away the boat, and me want to take away the bank book and all of the financial instruments with them have. Me want to take away that. And it can be done, people. It can be done. But it just take a little bit of effort and it just take a little bit of creativity, but it can be. I've seen it done. And we cannot, one last thing before me come off of the stage, we cannot have this position that, okay, you know what? What are my thief? And so them to leave and make another government come in and we're satisfied with that. No! The money, we have to get the money, which money must be repatriated to Jamaica for going to help the poor people. You think the 3 trillion, the money we're missing, you think that they are Jamaica? You really think that they are Jamaica? They're not they are Jamaica. That they are so. That money is supposed to go back and take care of poor people. It's supposed to go back and take care of people. That's what the money. And by the way, are the poor people, are the taxpayers' money. There's no such thing as government funds. No such things. A misnomer. It's taxpayers' fund and government. We allow them to spend it because we give them the power to do it. And that's why what Janet said one Saturday was so powerful when she said, watch here. We need to have a mindset change. We need to start looking at it as a business and that we are the employers and the politicians, we give them a job as employees. And it is our investment. The assets that the government claims to have, they belong to the people. And think about it like this. If you have a business and you give somebody, you put somebody in charge, you only go and come look on the business every 4 years, every 5 years, to see how things are go. And not only that, you have the business I run, and you have a bookkeeper, and the bookkeeper tell you every year, say money are missing, and nobody now pay attention. Nobody pay attention. And then when something like this come out, now them go, oh, right, the man a thief, and the bookkeeper telling you every year the auditor general. Let's say that's a courageous woman. We respect that woman to the bone. That are the woman, that are the bookkeeper, you know, for our company, you know. That is the bookkeeper. I will not paying attention when she give her annual reports. I will not paying attention to what's going on, and a whole heap of thief in go on. And then what happened? We act like we are employees, and them are the employer. No wonder the politician said to the man when the man got there and asked for help, him say, "Me pay you already for your vote, you know. So where you come bother me for? Me pay you already. So nobody come in and so keep a bag, I beg me and a bother me and a trouble me. Leave me alone." So the Prime Minister was right. You get what you pay for.
All right. Any more thing to say, Ratty?
One more. You know what?
Yes.
This is the camp report. I still suffer from a headache.
We're going to get into it now.
Yeah, why you give me more headache? Believe me.
Well, let me say this to Jamaican people, because we want to wake up, right? Shut the consciousness a bit. Now, just imagine Jamaica, right? That our national debt is $2.3 trillion. Think of it, Jamaica. I want everyone to think with me. However, right, the amount of money being unaccounted for is $3 trillion. Right? So we are talking about, you understand, as much money that could have paid off our debt. Am I correct, Ratty?
Correct.
Okay. Now, and set Jamaica on a path to success. However, corruption hold us back. Corruption hold us back. Now, let us get into, as it relates to some of the billions of dollars that being unaccounted for. And I want to say big thanks to Janet Calder, right, to push out this report, right. She had worked very hard, right, on this report for what, I think the better of what, 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
You understand that she had worked this report and now presented it. And
one quick thing. It's actually longer than that, because remember she said she's been reading these reports every year. But
every year.
This one report, it took about 3 months.
All right. So people, I mean, trust me, it's just, and we are going to get into some things, because you know what? We have to fix the bleeding Ratty. Right? I need to for next week, right? We are going to possibly get the relevant persons who we need to talk to, right, on this platform. And I want to ask some questions in terms of what I'm going to show tonight, right? And how we fix this, because this needs to be fixed, you know. Remember that in Janet Calder's first report, it was $1.7 trillion. Between then and now, right, you have seen an additional of $1.3 trillion, which now extends in totality of $3 trillion. So what it is saying to us all, Jamaica, that the bleeding continues. Right? People need to be aware the bleeding continues. And we are going to get into some of the issues tonight. Let us bring up the JAMB accountability supporting documents number 2. Let us get into that. It's crazy, people. Crazy. Now,
can I give a quick apology about even the bleeding away of the dollars?
Yes, go ahead.
for a lot of people out there, just think about this. You remember those standpipe, and you normally turn it and the washer is out. So it continues to drip, and you set a bad pan underneath it. That is how the Jamaican people's money been going for years, and nobody pay any attention. You own your business and you just left to make people do what they want to do with it. So the bad pan full up right now and I run with $3 trillion. Continue.
All right. You see that scenario that you draw. Well, what we are going to do, right? We are going to take out the bad washer that is causing the leak. That is what we are going to do. We are going to take out that bad washer, right? That causing the leak. So let us delve into that report so that everyone can see it.
Okay.
Now, yes.
Which do you want?
Let us go down to the page where it starts to show the different. Yes. Okay, people, look at this. Now, people, look at this, people. Public financial non-reporting. Now, remember, look at the heading. Public entities, billions of dollars, and the delay. The delay. Now, let us look here. And the first item, the public entity that involved with this, education, skills, youth, and information, $902 billion for 9 years. This immediately, right, as it relates to Andrew Holness's administration. $902 billion. Education, skills, youth, and information. Health and wellness, $695 million. Not $95 billion for 10 years. Now, let us go under the Ministry of Finance, because there are a couple of areas under the Ministry of Finance. Let us look at this as it relates to debt amortization, $482 billion for 3 years. Nigel Clark, you need to come back here. Debt interest, $592 billion for 4 years. Nigel Clark, where are thou? Appropriation account. I'm not looking at people. Appropriation accounts, $111.3 billion. 3 years. Now, police department, $152 billion. Now, hold on. Let me say something here. So when we hear Andrew Holness and when we hear Crab, Dr. Crab or Horace Cham coming out and say they spend billions of dollars on the police force, and we can't see where those billions spent. But here's the evidence now tonight as it relates to $152 billion unaccounted for. And the Jamaica Labour Party administration have an attitude in saying that our government spend the most. But yet, with the least result and the most being spent, what we have seen from the most being spent, 28 accounts, $470 million, right? Running through various accounts, through 3 of Andrew Holness's private entities. We have seen $143,000 from SSL get into Andrew Holness's account at the NCB that Andrew Holness take out $0. My. No, this is a catastrophe. Labor and Social Security, $53.4 billion. Colonel Charles Jr. No wonder why you are defending the Prime Minister vigorously. You're in a parliament to question the Integrity Commission. Eh? Labor and Social Security, $53.4 billion. Department of Correctional Service, $36.9 billion. 3 years. 6 municipal corporation, $10 billion. 11 years. No, I trick him, you know, but me skip past the Prime Minister, you know. I trick him. I want him to look like he can get where. You come back here, you go back up there. Office of the Prime Minister, you come here. Now you tell me. You would have pushed legislation, you know, for checks and balance and transparency. Now, people, want to see the irony here? People, look at the irony. This is the man, you understand, that pushing for transparency and accountability. This is the man, right, that's seeking judiciary review, right, to remove the Corruption Act, Section 14, subsection 5, that hinge on illicit enrichment. And see it here, people, Office of the Prime Minister. Office of the Prime Minister, $12.2 billion, 3 years. Now I want to ask Jamaica a question, and I ask the panel a question too. In the history of our politics, have we seen any other Prime Minister under that Prime Minister tenure, right, have something like this hang over on the Prime Minister's head? Where the Integrity Commission investigators scrutinize that Prime Minister? No. Did we see Portia Simpson under situations like this? Eh? Did we see Bruce Golding under a situation like this? Have we seen PJ Patterson under a situation like this? Have we seen Edward Siaga under a situation like this? Have we seen Michael Manley under a situation like this? Norman Manley and Alexander Bustamante, unprecedented. Unprecedented. This Prime Minister is a narcissist. Someone who don't take blame. Right? And trust me, in the center of corruption. Right? He makes sure that he, as it relates to his delegation, putting his people in respective place to continue with the status quo of corruption. So, of course, we see Delroy Williams was once the mayor for the KSMAC. And his brother Donovan Williams in an Andrew Holness'S shell company as a director. We also see Nigel Clark involved in Andrew Holness'S shell company as a director. And Andrew Holness ensured that he pulled them into the politics to preserve the corruption of the status quo of corruption. Am I lying? Huh? The first department, $8.6 billion, 10 years. Parliament, $6.06 billion, 5 years. Forensic science and legal medicine, $5 billion. A total of $3.66 $1.28 trillion. Take it away. Let me talk to the panel. Take it away, honey. Unprecedented. And here is the Prime Minister with the audacity seeking a third term. The Prime Minister, right, and his men and women seeking a third term. Now you tell me, Jamaica. Tell me, Jamaica. And today, let me remind Jamaica about something. We have seen the Prime Minister in Kenya. Let us speak, Jamaica. Let me remind you of something. You have seen the Prime Minister in Kenya. You understand, raise up certain basic food items. And we see the Kenyan citizens said no. And they bombarded into parliament. Right? And the society speak. The citizens hold firm together. And the Kenyan Prime Minister has to roll it back. The Kenyan Prime Minister has not done 1/10 of what Andrew Holness and his minions, his corrupted administration, the government that gone rogue had done, and the Jamaican citizens, none. The Jamaican citizens, none playing politics. That's why we speak about the importance of education, how vital education is, how imperative education is. And so we have seen the reason why Andrew Holness administration, where the history of our politics tells us that from 1954 until now, the Jamaica Labour Party attacking the education system of Jamaica to weaken it. Am I lying? The history is there to show. The history is there to show. Right? That when it comes to education, we have seen more than 6 ministers under the Jamaica Labour Party administration being processed and sent to prison. Am I lying? And this is what we have. This is what we have. Now, let me just move to the panel to hear what the panel has to say based on these views. Jamaics, you want to kick into the space?
Thank you. I just want to say the delay of justice is the increase of corruption. And we need to take a serious look at corruption. You list out all of the things that corruption is affecting. And again, to Jeanette Calder, Miss Jeanette Calder, we appreciate so much of her bringing this to the Jamaican people and also creating a platform, a website, and show us how we can go and access these information, because there is power in knowledge. There's power in knowing. When you know, then you're able to act. So first thing is to seek the knowledge. And when we see in the Jamaican society, when the youth them saying that them done for real, because the money we're supposed to spend on the education of the youth, 902 billion of it over the 9 years period which this government has been in power, it has been gone from them. When you look in Jamaica space, pregnant teachers don't have proper roads to walk on. When you look at the aesthetics of the classroom, it's deplorable. And everybody knows that you learn from your environment. So when we don't provide the basic necessities for the youths to learn, then how are we expecting an educated society? So when the youths them look also, you're not paying the teachers and they're coming at school and seeing that they're driving, they're scamming, driving, and whilst the teacher is owing taxi men. This is a backward type of leadership. You're telling the Jamaican people that education doesn't make sense. So we have to have a real look at corruption on a whole and ensure that we stand against it, because corruption and thief money from your mouth. And we're living in a time we cannot say that it is one party I do it, the other party I do it, so I just saw it go. No, I just saw it go. The Jamaican money are going down the drain. Any member, whether it be a PMP or JLP steals, they must be held accountable for their actions. This is the only way you can change the state of the country. This is the only way you can progress as a people. You hold people accountable. And to see that it is not happening and we still have people that run up and down and shake bell behind this man, when he show you over and over that he doesn't care. I hear a lady the other day saying that even if she could sell her house for help him, I'm saying that doesn't make sense. Just think about it. There's no critical thinking even in that statement. And that is the reason why the Prime Minister speaks to every Jamaican like they're dunce. Because the supporters speak a bag of dunce things. So he just speaks the same thing. I heard him use a phrase saying that the battle for the mind. And it just goes to show you the manipulative method and strategies that he's going to using on the people. Him gaslight people also, make you see the things that might happen and you question yourself. Am I really understanding what's going on? Is the Prime Minister really doing good? And the people that spread propaganda upon him? When you're looking that the roads are not fit for you to walk on, much less a car to drive on. And you're there thinking, and it comes up and he speak all of these things. But let me tell you, Jamaican people like to be entertained. And that is a problem. In COVID, what he had on his side, that the era was changing. Everything was going visual. And he was ahead of the game in terms of the other political party, People's National Party, because he caught the Jamaican people where they're at. So what he started doing is to take on the persona of this gangster. And this is how he got the name of government badness, Andrew Holness. But the thing is, the bro God, yes. But the thing is, the internet is not an ally or a friend to nobody, especially when you're doing wrong. Because you can be doing good, and people will take that same internet and spin it. But what they forget that when you do the bad, as a Jamaican artist say, what you do, care about. People are going back to see these things. So even with the Nigel Clark leaving the Jamaican economy, saying that first we hear that it's booming, and then we hear that it's stable, and we don't know where they're right now. So it is like it's like you go on the plane, like you on a plane. Imagine you on a plane. When you look, you see the pilot come from the cockpit with a parachute and jump off and tell us, stay stable. Madness. And they want us to accept that they have given themselves 200%, 300% increase, and the disparity between you living and them living is big, it's huge. So now Jamaica don't have a middle class. So what is happening is that the upper class is pressing against or teachers or doctors or police officers, the people who work at the tourism sector. So now you don't have a middle class. So the people are just barely making it on a daily basis. And you hear them talk about moving minimum wage from 13,000 to 15,000, and oh, that is grand. It is not us. It's not awesome. It is disrespectful. $15,000 cannot buy you groceries for yourself, less for another child to be involved. And this is how they want the Jamaican people to live. And constantly, they will come with their lies. And he will tell you that the rain make the road them can't look good. I'm asking the Prime Minister, for over 8 years, has it been raining continuously?
Exactly.
For 8 years?
It's crazy.
I don't understand the 2017, you repeal an act to say that you're going to maintain the roads, right? And then you're going to come and tell us in 2024 that it's because of rain for a couple months while the roads are in this state. Disrespecting the people. Like everybody I do with where Mistress Vars recommend that the kids do. Sit on Pancana, a robot, and make it. No, I know everybody I do that. There are people actually taking notice of what is going on, what you're saying, and matching up with your action, and we're seeing that it's a total contrast.
Exactly.
Day and night between your pretty words. And we are saying that the time has come now for government officials to be held accountable. And we want to see the one who is at the head that is continuing this corruption to stop, and then we can get everybody else. So he's saying that the song that he said, many men want to see him dead. No, we don't want to see you dead, Mr. Prime Minister. No, not at all. We want to see that you have a pretty bangle. That is what we want.
We want to see him behind bars.
There you go. So it sets the precedent of who's coming after. No care who you be, whether you wear green or orange, don't steal from the Jamaican people. I want to ask a question a little later from now. So go ahead, Mr. Rattigan. Thank you for the time. But I want to ask important question.
Rattigan, take the space.
You know what? Amory, do me a favor. Amory, do me a favor, please. Could you just put up back the Integrity Commission's 2024 anti-corruption piece, please? No. Somebody in the chat said, when will Real Reed's case come up? And it sounds, oh, all right. Go up or down. Go down, yeah. Keep going. Keep going. All right, stop right there. Stop right there. You see this paragraph right here? You can see my arrow? No.
No.
All right. To the right.
Your screen?
To the indented paragraph.
Yes.
All right.
Which one?
All right, let me can you make it bigger, please?
Okay.
All right, shift it over, please. All right. Now, people, we don't have to say anything more now. We don't have to say anything more because Mr. Greg Christie, the executive director of the Integrity Commission, he said it all for us in this paragraph. He said, the danger is real. All right. Move it over to the right. Let me just start with that paragraph right there. The bottom paragraph, what highlighted one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop right there. It said, as informed adults, we must understand that when we trifle with corruption, our youth will suffer. When we put party or partisan politics before our country, the fruits of our children's future will be substantially diminished. And listen to this. And when our political leaders fail to deliver on the promises that they make, they will betray the trust that our children have reposed in them. We know we might talk about, you know.
Exactly.
I want them lieutenant get shot, you know. right? And the police, remember him say, go talk to the government when people say to him, say, hey, can you explain? Move over a little bit for me. Yeah. All right, stop right there. No, people, for those of you who can't see this, I'm going to read this phone. I don't know if you not tell me with the people who don't want to believe them lying eyes because the politicians them tell you they don't. Now read this, and when you use it, we just want you kind of displace your emotion. Close your eyes, or if your eyes open, looking at the mirror. So you're either looking at the mirror or you close your eyes and just listen to him. I say, listen to me. I'm gonna read the words of Greg Christie, because what Greg Christie has done in this one paragraph, I'm gonna read now, he has explained the myriad of problems besetting Jamaica, and when essentially says that these problems, the government has not demonstrated in any way, shape, or form that they're making the effort to address these issues. Here's what him say. Him say, the danger is real. Developing countries that are plagued by unchecked corruption risk descending into an abyss of societal, economic, and ethical degradation from which recovery can prove difficult, if not impossible. I must say, if we not address the corruption problem, we are going to fail as a society. Well, we are fail anyway. It basically must say it all get worse. All right. Yeah. Here the part I know. Such failing societies will typically, people close the eyes if you're not looking at a mirror. Just close the eyes and listen to me or read. Say. And this is the man in charge of addressing the anti-corruption efforts in Jamaica. Him not investigate anti-corruption. Investigate corruption. So our junior minister in the Ministry of National Security, come to the front of the class, please. Him say, such failing societies, meaning the societies where they not control corruption, him say, will typically exhibit some or all of the following characteristics. Now, people, hear the characteristics. Unethical leadership. That sound like Jamaica?
Yes.
Poor public governance and accountability standards. That sound like Jamaica?
Yes, teacher.
Wastage and theft of public resources and public money. That sound like Jamaica?
Yes, teacher.
Abuse of public office and governmental power. Does that sound like Jamaica?
Yes, teacher.
Arrogance on the part of politicians and government officials. Jamaica?
Yes.
Yes.
Public institutions that do not respond to citizens' needs.
Yes.
Yes.
Jamaica? Prevalent bribery.
Yes.
Low or decreasing levels of sustainable foreign investment.
Yes.
Yes.
An expanding gap between the rich and the poor.
Yes.
High immigration rates.
Yes.
Entrenched poverty.
Yes.
Increasing cries of inequality and injustice.
Yes.
A breakdown in the rule of law.
Yes.
Impunity for the privileged and the connected.
Yes.
Pervasive crime.
Yes. Patrick Bailey still get locked up now.
A high murder rate.
Yes.
Proliferation of organized crime.
Yes.
Substandard healthcare and educational facilities.
Yes.
A lack of affordable housing.
Yes.
Jobs that do not pay a living wage.
Yes.
Decrepit roads and infrastructure.
Yes.
Inadequate or poor social services and public utilities.
Yes.
A cost of living that is adversely disproportionate to the means of the majority.
Yes.
A feeling of insecurity and stress among the broader populace.
Yes.
And a shroud of hopelessness and despair.
So Vatican, mark me test paper. How much me get?
100. Listen, people, this is Jamaica the man I talk about. For those of you who close their eyes and can't open their eyes now. But I'm telling you, for those of you who are looking at it, as Mystic was said, take it away, please, Mary.
Take it away.
But people, That is Jamaica in a nutshell. The man captured the essence of Jamaica right now. When he talk about roads and education and crime and arrogance and all of these things, when you see it, like Jamaica said, government badness. When you see, bro, God, what kind of pride you take in being called bro God? What kind of pride you taking at that? You are leading, you know. You lead, right? People supposed to have respect for you. I'm supposed to love you. I can tell you this much. I don't think people would have followed him as a leader. Them follow him out of fear. I don't think them follow him as a leader. I think if it's strip where all the government badness off him and people see him just a man like everybody else, them say there is no substance to this man. There's no depth there. This man is an empty shell of walk around where somebody give him a piece of paper and him just read some pretty words. Just like what them do with the junior minister, where she read pretty words and she look like them just get a speech and she just jump up on the stage and go read it. And she read all kind of nonsense instead of she talk about what she's doing to curb crime in Jamaica as part of her portfolio. She did a cuss about Mark Golden, a white man, and this and that. I mean, I said, where this come from? How that I go make me safer now I go home tonight? How that I go make me safer? Tell me how we are do to make the country safe. So, great, this is a great Christie. Me not always support you, sir. But me I tell you, this 2024 anti-corruption speech where you're right. Me love it. Because I'm going to refer to it time and time again because it encapsulates everything that's, well, almost everything that's wrong with Jamaica. Almost everything that's wrong with Jamaica. Because what happened is that I don't see him focus on the, he never focused on the PSOJ piece, the titans of industry. Never focused on a piece there. But I'm focused on the government. And I'm telling you people, go back and look at the speeches written by the Prime Minister for Anti-Corruption Day for 2020, 2021. And 1 year they skip it. 1 year they skip it. I think it's during COVID, they skip 1 year. But read all of them. You see him say all kinds of not really complimentary things about the Integrity Commission. Except this year. Him not mention them at all this year. Him not mention them. And now you see him come out tonight and I say, them a target me. Them a target me. And him not say them a target me by overstepping them boundary or whatever. Him say them a target me. And why them a target you? Them a target you because them say you do wrongs. And them a call out your wrongs. Them a call out your wrongs. So me not understand this prime minister. This prime minister is an abject failure. And it is my considered opinion that people in a Towile, Compound, Cockburn Pen, Mall Road, some part of Waterhouse, the whole of team can come from that place. They may have beg you now. Not telling you for vote for. But me I go ask you, those of you who can read, just go and read Greg Christie's piece, his contribution to the Anti-Corruption Day. Just read a piece and picture yourself. Picture yourself in this position. Are you better off now with this prosperity doctrine than when Prime Minister took the helm of power? Are you better off now? Him come in and him say one time, mistake. Him come in, and Jamaica, him say at one of the conferences, him say, the mantra of the Jamaica Labour Party is to move people from the poor class to the middle class. Him say, we are step up in our life, exact quote, means we are step up in our life. Ask the people in the poor class, or better yet, ask the people in the middle class now, how much you know coming in that class since 2016. So, in fact, the class are declined in numbers. But we want them to ask the middle class people, how many of you were in the poor class in 2016? And then I want to ask the poor people them know. How many of you were in the middle class and end up yes or no? When you consider yourself poor, how many of you? How many? A lot. A lot. The poverty rate has gone up in Jamaica. And I think the poverty, the standard is like what, $7 a day, $7 a day or less, or six something or something like somewhere around this. And we know that almost 2/3 of Jamaica go to bed tonight with nothing in them stomach, or if they have something in them stomach, junk food, bag juice and bun and cheese. We know that.
Really,
sir. We know that. So you know when we see the JAMP report, as there's a God, we get a headache when we start go down the list and we start to the amount of money that them can't account for. When you have, Amory, please just put it up. Let me make one more point. Just put up JAMP for me. Let me just go to one thing. I'm gonna show the people. Okay. And if this no move on, people, if this no move on, then nothing now moving on. What do you want to do after this? Go down, please. Keep going. All right. Hold on. Wait, go up. Yeah, stop right there. Stop there. All right. Look on the one, the people. Look on the one. Look on the second one. Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, because this is where our future is on. Ministry of Education, because if you can't, if children now learn, then essentially there's no future, right? Look on the one. It says recurrent payment vouchers with expenditure totaling $905 million. Billion, sorry. 904
million, Rafi.
Yeah, 904, yeah, million.
No, million.
Yeah, were either misclassified, had no supporting documents, that's almost $1 billion, right? Had no supporting documents or information relating to their classification. Where the money gone? Where the money gone? Hold on, there's one more. Let me just look on it on my screen now. Hold on a second. Okay. The very first, go back up, please, Anne Marie. Just go back up. All right. 20. Is that? That's the first page, right? Yeah. All right. There, that's it. All right. Look at the second to last from the bottom. All right. See there? See it right? Yeah, all right. All right. People, look on this, Want to look on this because this one I go shake on up, This one I go shake on up. If none of them not shake on up, this one yeah, me guarantee I go shake you up. It says again, Ministry of Education. It says the Ministry of Education made payments amounting to 124 million to an entity, to one organization, one group they make that payment to. And what them say? This group does not have a legal status. And the purpose and use of the funds are unknown. See it for yourself, the people. See there. 124 million them play to a group we're not legal and we don't know where the money go for. This is what give me a headache. Them things that give me sleepless nights.
This will give any Jamaican headache. It's sad. It's sad. And the more you go through this is, I just said, Ratty, it will give you this migraine, Ahmedi, because it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And
so, when we want to understand people,
look on the Jamaica Library Service, Ratty. Look on the Jamaica Library.
Yeah, 3 billion. 3 billion. 3 billion. They will submit annual statements. Them all have one with the police, where them buy furniture. I don't want to know furniture there. Nobody know furniture there. Amory, do me a favor, just move it over to the right, please. But just want to see the date. All right, stop right there. 2021. 2021. This are during COVID, you know, people. This are during COVID, you know.
It's a disgrace. A disgrace.
Right? And at this, give me sleepless nights. This give me headache. Because when you look at the, no wonder the education standard has dropped precipitously. That the passing rate is a dismal number. The amount of students coming out of the examination with 5 subjects, including math and English, it has dropped.
18%.
My goodness gracious. See why, yeah? See why, yeah? These are the reasons why all of these payments with them can't account for. Think about how much books them think they could have buy, how much bench, how much desk, how much teachers we could have paid.
Yeah.
How much science labs we could have built. Right? How much lunch we could have provide for the kids them. We could even buy buses for pick up on their yard and carry them come to school. So they not have to engage with them like a riff-raff on street. Especially the young girls them. Think about how much what we could have do with all of this money. Think about it. And this is what we are dealing with. Anne-Marie, please take it away.
Take it away. Boy, Ratty, I mean, this is no joke. I mean, for those who want to play politics, right? And, you know, just play basically ignorance. It's to their own detriment in terms of making an informed decision.
True.
Right? Because if you allow this administration to continue, Jamaica is going to face the abyss. Not to worry about it. It is going to be worse than Haiti. Right? And we have to hold the bull by the horn and turn this around. Right? Turn this around. Right? And so then, you know, it is so sad in terms of that. But I want to play, right?
Mystic, before you play something, let me just ask everybody a question.
Yes.
Jamaica is one of the most corrupt countries on earth. We average about 44 on the corruption index. Anything below 50 means you're very corrupt, right?
Yes.
And we point to politicians all the time. And we point to them with evidence and we point to them without evidence. But we do know that they're corrupt. Why is it that to date, as we speak right now, there is no politician sitting in a prison?
Where is the
Why?
The issue of corruption.
Always
What am I saying? Politicians don't commit crimes? Are them just able to afford lawyers we can get them off of the charge? Why is it we don't have a politician sitting in a prison as we speak?
They're not living in the ghetto. That is the thing. And they're not, their pants below them waist and stuff. And they're not a youth where I try to make it, and because of the economical strain, him have to hustle where him work. And that's happening in Jamaica, and hustle.
You know another thing too? This idea of having a DPP with unquestioned power to start a case, take over a case, or terminate a case. And you can't appeal it because it's not the Constitution said the DPP has the power to do this. When they reform the Constitution the other day, why them never do something about that? And so I could put this in there. We can't have all that power invested in a one person. There must be an appeal route. Why? And why is it that the DPP conviction rate is so low?
Mm-hmm. Here you go.
That is a very good point.
I've been asking the question.
Too much.
It just doesn't make any sense. And so, Ratty, we need to ask the question, right? The electorate, right, had elected a government to legislate on the people's behalf. But what we have seen, that these politicians legislate on the behalf to protect themselves.
True.
Right? So then we don't have any impeachment legislation, so that when a prime minister or any member of parliament, any politician, right, broke that moral belt, right, morally bankrupt, right, has an ethical issues, where we can, of course, do a recall to the impeachment, impeach him. However, they set the system that we still have to work with him, and the only way we can get rid of him, you understand, is as a result of either a general election or a vote of no confidence. And we have this corrupted government that has 49 members, right, where I am seeing where all of them are corrupted because they support the corruption. You understand? You will never get to a vote of no confidence. So we have to wait on a general election, you understand, to vote them out. And so then that should be as a political mandate, you understand, where an impeachment bill must be legislated on to enact in Parliament. Here we have a DPP, and this is my argument, Ratty, right? That if a DPP choose to be politically biased, the Constitution protects the DPP by saying that the DPP can start a case and the DPP can end the case at will. I am saying, since we are doing a constitution reform, let us use this opportunity to visit that, right? And amend that in saying, okay, the DPP can start a case on its merit. The DPP can end a case on its merit, right? And then you define, you understand, as it relates to the merit, A, this, you understand, B, this, C, this, and put them under the section. They can do that. Because we cannot give DPP ultimate power. And by the way, maybe Jamaica didn't know. We are currently paying 2 DPP right now. A fragile economy like Jamaica. Right? A fragile economy. We are paying politicians 200 and 300% increase. And plus now we are paying 2 DPP to protect Andrew Holness. This is madness. This is madness. So, you know, I am going to play the final clip and then we open the phone lines for anybody who want to call and interact with the panel. But before we play the final clip, let us go to Jamaics and hear what Jamaics has to say, right, in this session. Go ahead, Jamaics.
Thank you. As pure craziness, and want to talk about fear, and let the Jamaican people hear this. Fear cripple the prosperity for the future. Fear cripple you from progressing today's date. And Damian Crawford said it, you know, that he's afraid of this prime minister. It's because of the persona that he takes on and the things that he did. So small things that he shows, it looks like a gang thing. It looks like a done thing. You understand? And when you have the misinformation minister, the information minister coming out and said that the prime minister not tracking anybody, when the prime minister said it out of his mouth, that he is tracking people, then blatant lies. And it begs to wonder, what will he do or what he won't do? You understand? I don't know if Mr. Rattigan or Mr. Byron, you heard about the Ronan Farrow documentary Surveyed, where he's speaking about the Pegasus.
Oh yeah.
And it is quite alarming to know a modern spyware like that is out there, and a lot of Western democratic countries are using it. And to know that the Prime Minister have something like this, I just want to remind the Prime Minister, I'm acting based on your advice to say that we as Jamaican must raise our voice in unison against poor government and poor governance. And I'm using the opportunity today to tell you that I have found many discrepancies in your leadership, and not just your leadership, but the other people, that the 49 members of your government, we have found them wanting in many, many areas. And I'm saying that it is not money well spent. And also to let the international community know that based on how the Prime Minister and his government is acting, then the people of Jamaica are in fear. You know, me coming out and speaking my views, because I'm a Jamaican, I'm an employer of this government alongside the other 3 million Jamaicans. My grandmother is going to tell me that I must be careful and all of this and all of that. I mean, if you're here speaking the truth, what everybody is looking at on the internet, both locally and abroad, you don't have to be Jamaican. Here, Mr. Rattigan said that people in South Africa is discussing it. It smells. It really smells. Corruption smells. I have friends in Trinidad and also in Turks and Caicos. They talk about the 28 bank account that this man have. It is not like in the 1970s when you can do these things and get away with it. And you cover it up and you pay off for one newspaper. I'm looking at how the newspaper and the local media are acting these days. I'm wondering if he pays them. Because what they're reporting versus what is happening in society is two different things. Exactly. And if you want to know how safe Jamaica is for any Jamaican that is here, when you go to an ATM machine and you see that a beryllium van, that gives you just a clear picture of what Jamaica is actually like in terms of fear. So psychologically, the Jamaican people are scarred. And you cannot erase that from your mind whenever you see a beryllium van. And I say van because it's not any armored truck. You see money being carried by pro box. The staff bust them. And I'm saying to myself, this is clear negligence. Who will give authority for vehicles like those to carry money through Jamaica? That simply means that you're putting the people's life at risk. Because a bike can run a pro box off of the road, right? And then the gunmen, they're hungry. So they're brave enough to attack these vans. And then you will just be a mere casualty of these people trying to get a bread, trying to get a living. This is the Jamaica that we're living in, where Jamaicans are fearful to speak up about the injustice, that their human rights have been infringed upon, that they are being suffering because of poor wages, and we see low skill, low income jobs, the Jamaican people not getting any money, and then you must be satisfied, and then they tell you, say, it better than nothing. This type of mentality has been keeping our Jamaican people poor and illiterate. And that is the reason why they can continue to steal from the Jamaican people and nobody enough to say nothing. I will for now, right there.
Yes, so true, Jamaics. So we are going to play the final clip for the night, and then we open the phone line for persons to call and interact a bit. So let us play the final clip for the night. Very sad. Yes.
Jamaica, up for sale to the highest bidder. Government after government, the country has been sold off, piece by piece. Its most valuable assets handed over to foreign powers. The skies, the ports, the power grid, and even the land beneath the feet of Jamaican citizens. What was once Jamaican is slipping into the hands of outsiders. So the question is, what's really left for Jamaicans? Imagine for a moment what it means for a nation to be sold, not in one fell swoop, but slowly over years, in bits and pieces. In Jamaica's case, this process hasn't been some grand conspiracy, it's been a slow and steady unraveling. Each sale or lease is justified as an economic necessity, a step toward modernization or a way to attract foreign investment. But these deals come with a price that's not just monetary, but cultural, emotional, and even existential. Because when a nation starts selling off its most cherished symbols and strategic resources, what remains of its identity? Consider Air Jamaica. Once the pride of the nation, this wasn't just an airline, it was a symbol of independence and progress. Established in 1966, just a few years after Jamaica gained independence, Air Jamaica wasn't merely a company, it was a dream realized. Painted in bold colors, with a distinctive hummingbird logo, the airline embodied the essence of a young nation eager to take its place on the world stage. Air Jamaica was more than just planes in the sky. It was a beacon of national pride and self-reliance. Air Jamaica operated for decades, becoming a beloved brand at home and a symbol of Jamaican identity abroad. For Jamaicans, there was something uniquely reassuring about boarding a plane with the Jamaican flag and knowing that it was theirs. The airline represented the freedom to soar, the spirit of adventure, and the warmth of Jamaican hospitality. But as time passed, financial troubles began to cloud Air Jamaica's future. Mismanagement, high operating costs, and mounting debts weighed down the airline, and despite multiple attempts by the government to save it, the numbers didn't add up. By 2010, the decision was made to sell Air Jamaica to Trinidad and Tobago's Caribbean Airlines. The sale of Air Jamaica wasn't just a business transaction, it was a turning point in the nation's story. The flag carrier of Jamaica was no longer Jamaican-owned, and with that, an entire era came to an end. Jamaicans watched as their beloved airline was absorbed into Caribbean Airlines, taking with it a piece of the nation's heart. Air Jamaica's familiar colors and iconic hummingbird logo slowly disappeared, replaced by the branding of a foreign company. For many, it felt like a personal loss, a reminder that even the symbols of national pride weren't safe from the auction block. Imagine what that must have felt like for the average Jamaican. To watch a piece of their identity, a piece of what made them proud to be Jamaican, dissolve into a foreign-owned entity. It was as if a little piece of the country's soul was taken away. And the story doesn't end with Air Jamaica. No, this was only the beginning of a trend that would see some of the nation's most important resources pass into foreign hands. But that's just the start of the story. Stay with us because what's coming up next will open your eyes even further. And if you're enjoying this video and want to see similar content, give this video a like, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video. Your support means the world to us. Let's move now to Jamaica's main airports, Norman Manley International in Kingston and Sangster International in Montego Bay. These airports aren't just gateways to the island, they are the country's first impression on millions of visitors each year. They represent the pulse of Jamaica, the bustling arrival points for tourists and business people alike. But here's the thing, despite being so central to Jamaica's image and economy, these airports are no longer under Jamaican control. Norman Manley, named after a national hero, and Sangster, the bustling airport of Montego Bay, are now managed by foreign companies. In 2019, the Jamaican government signed a 25-year lease with Grupo Aeroportuario del Pacifico, GAP, a Mexican corporation, giving them control over Norman Manley. Sangster, on the other hand, is operated by MBJ Airports Limited, a partnership between Spain's Abertis and Vancouver Airport Services from Canada. These companies handle everything from day-to-day operations to long-term improvements, essentially controlling the heartbeat of Jamaica's tourism industry. At first glance, foreign management might seem harmless, even beneficial. After all, these companies bring investment, expertise, and the promise of modernization. And in the case of Jamaica, the airports have seen significant upgrades, expanded terminals, and improved infrastructure under these agreements. However, the question remains, at what cost? For a nation that relies so heavily on tourism, the loss of control over its main gateways raises significant concerns. Think about it. These airports are the first and last places that visitors see. They are the face of Jamaica. And yet, the decisions about how they operate, what expansions are made, and what fees are charged are largely in the hands of foreign corporations. While Jamaica receives a share of the revenue, the primary profits from these airports flow out of the country. The question becomes who truly benefits from these arrangements. Is it the people of Jamaica, or is it the foreign companies that control these critical pieces of infrastructure? To put it bluntly, these agreements represent a shift in power, a shift that puts some of Jamaica's most essential assets in the hands of outsiders. And if this trend continues, one has to wonder what remains for Jamaica to control. What other vital pieces of the nation will end up on the auction block? But this is just the beginning. We're about to explore even more critical assets that have slipped into foreign hands. So stay tuned, because the deeper we go, the more unsettling the picture becomes. Now, before we move on to even more revealing details, take a moment to subscribe to Thriving Threads. If you're interested in uncovering the real story behind Jamaica's sold-off assets, subscribing is a small way to support content that digs deep and brings real value. With your support, we can continue to produce videos that bring you the truth behind Jamaica's biggest issues. For a nation so strategically placed, Jamaica's ports are critical, not just for the economy, but for its very survival. The island relies heavily on imports and exports, and the Kingston Freeport Terminal is the heart of this trade. It's more than just a busy port. It's one of the largest transshipment hubs in the Caribbean, connecting Jamaica to North and South America, Europe and beyond. Its docks handle everything from consumer goods to raw materials, making it a key player in the island's economy. But in 2016, the Jamaican government made a critical decision. It entered into a 30-year lease agreement with CMA CGM, a French shipping giant, handing over control of the Kingston Freeport Terminal. On the surface, this move promised growth. CMA CGM committed to investing millions of dollars in expanding and upgrading the port, making it more competitive on the world stage. The plan included modernized facilities, deeper harbors to accommodate larger vessels, and new technologies to increase efficiency. However, in 2020, another shift occurred, one that placed the port in even more foreign hands. CMA CGM sold its stake to China Merchants Port Holdings Company, making the Kingston Freeport Terminal now controlled by a Chinese state-owned entity. China Merchants Port Holdings is not just any company, it's one of the largest port operators globally and is backed by the Chinese government. With this sale, Jamaica's main port became part of China's expansive global strategy, giving it even greater influence over Caribbean trade routes. Control over the port is now out of Jamaican hands entirely, and critical decisions affecting national trade are influenced by a foreign government with its own strategic interests. While expansion projects have indeed improved the port's facilities, this control by China raises new questions. For instance, what happens if political or economic tensions arise? Could Jamaica rely on a port that's ultimately under the control of a foreign power with its own global ambitions? Imagine this: decisions about which ships get priority, what fees are charged, and how goods are managed no longer belong to Jamaica alone. With China's growing influence, the risks of relying on foreign-controlled infrastructure become even more evident. It's a gamble, and the stakes are high, especially given China's tendency to secure long-term influence through investments in key infrastructure worldwide. And this is far from the only example. As we dig deeper, we find even more essential services, things that impact everyday life in Jamaica, that are no longer controlled by Jamaicans. And if you think the ports are concerning, just wait until you hear about the country's power. Let's turn to Jamaica Public Service, the sole distributor of electricity in Jamaica. In the 1970s, JPS was a government-owned entity, and it symbolized energy independence for the nation. However, the energy sector has always been a challenging one, requiring huge investments in infrastructure and facing constant pressures from rising fuel costs. Over the years, managing JPS became a financial strain on the government, leading to privatization moves that eventually placed the company in foreign hands. Today, JPS is primarily owned by Marubeni Corporation from Japan and Korea East-West Power. Together, these two foreign corporations control the majority of Jamaica's power grid. And what does that mean for the people of Jamaica? For one, it means that decisions about energy prices, infrastructure investments, and even policies on renewable energy are influenced by companies with no real stake in the local community. Their bottom line isn't necessarily aligned with what's best for the Jamaican people. Instead, it's about maximizing returns on investment. Imagine paying for electricity every month, knowing that the rates and policies affecting your bill are decided in boardrooms far from Jamaica's shores. Foreign ownership of JPS has led to concerns over high electricity rates, as profit motives often come before public interest. The Jamaican government does retain some regulatory power, but in reality, it has limited control over the day-to-day operations and pricing decisions that directly impact Jamaicans. When you think about it, it's an unsettling reality. An essential service, one that touches every home, every business, every school, is controlled by outsiders. And while there have been promises of improvements and investments, the reality remains. Jamaica's energy sector is, to a significant degree, driven by foreign interests. If these companies decide it's no longer profitable, or if they choose to prioritize certain projects over others, the nation has little leverage. It's an arrangement that places Jamaica in a vulnerable position, reliant on the goodwill and profit margins of entities based halfway around the world. This reliance raises tough questions. If Jamaica can't control its own energy, if the decisions about something so basic and essential are out of the nation's hands, what's next? What other critical areas could follow this pattern of foreign dependence? It's not just about today, it's about setting a precedent. The more Jamaica gives away, the harder it becomes to regain control, and the deeper the country sinks into a state of dependency. But that's not all. There's still more to this story, because if control over power and ports isn't enough to make one pause, then the story of Jamaica's natural resources will drive the point home even further. And believe me, you won't want to miss what comes next. So stay with us as we uncover the final layers of this tale of ownership, sovereignty, and what it really means to be independent. And if you've come this far in the video, feel free to drop a like and share your comments on the issues raised. It helps out the channel, and it sends out this video to more viewers just like you. Jamaica's wealth isn't only in its culture, people, or iconic brands, it's also embedded in its land, particularly in its rich deposits of bauxite and alumina. Bauxite, the primary ore used to produce aluminum, has been one of Jamaica's most lucrative exports, placing the island among the world's top bauxite producers for decades. For Jamaica, bauxite is more than just a mineral. It's a cornerstone of the national economy, a resource that has generated jobs, infrastructure, and revenue. But even Jamaica's bauxite industry isn't fully Jamaican-owned anymore. Over time, foreign entities have taken control of large portions of this industry. For instance, UC Rusal, a Russian corporation, and Jiuquan Iron and Steel Company from China hold substantial stakes in Jamaican bauxite and alumina operations. These companies now manage large parts of the island's mining operations, determining how much bauxite is extracted, processed, and exported. In 2016, GISCO acquired the Alpart Alumina Refinery in St. Elizabeth from UC Rusal. This deal was initially celebrated as a revival of the industry, bringing hopes of economic rejuvenation and job creation. But with the influx of foreign ownership came the typical concerns. Decisions about production, investment and employment were no longer in Jamaican hands, and environmental concerns began to surface. Mining leaves scars on the land, affecting local communities and ecosystems. For many Jamaicans living near bauxite operations, there are growing worries about pollution, health impacts, and the lasting damage to Jamaica's landscape. Think about it. A nation's resources, its soil, minerals and landscapes, now extracted for foreign profit. What remains of Jamaica's control over its own natural wealth? Foreign ownership in the bauxite sector means that a large portion of the profits flows overseas, while the island faces the brunt of the environmental and social costs. And while these deals may bring short-term financial gains, they often leave long-lasting impacts that Jamaica alone has to bear. With foreign control over the bauxite industry, Jamaica's autonomy over its own resources continues to diminish. And this isn't just about money. It's about the fundamental right of a nation to govern its own land, to make decisions in the best interest of its people, and to protect its environment for future generations. So, what does it mean for Jamaica if even its natural resources are slipping out of its hands? The bigger picture here is clear. From the skies to the ports, the power grid to the land itself, Jamaica's critical assets are increasingly controlled by outside interests. This pattern isn't unique to Jamaica. It's a global trend seen in many developing nations, but each sale, each lease, each transfer of control chips away at what Jamaica can truly call its own. The risk is that, over time, Jamaica becomes not just a place with foreign investments, but a nation beholden to foreign interests. The question remains, what will be left for Jamaicans if this trend continues? Will future generations have control over their own resources, or will they find that everything valuable has been sold off? There's a delicate balance between welcoming foreign investment and maintaining national sovereignty. And for Jamaica, that balance is becoming increasingly hard to maintain as the scales tip in favor of those with the deepest pockets. So as we conclude, ask yourself, who truly benefits when a nation's assets are sold off to foreign entities? And more importantly, what does independence mean if control over essential resources is handed to outsiders? Jamaica's story is a cautionary tale, a warning of what can happen when economic gains overshadow the importance of self-reliance and sovereignty. If you found this deep dive into Jamaica's foreign-owned assets insightful, take a moment to subscribe to Thriving Threads, where we bring you real stories that matter. And before you go, check out our other videos on how China is slowly colonizing Jamaica or the struggles Jamaicans face in New York City. These stories paint an even broader picture of the challenges Jamaica and its people face on the world stage. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more eye-opening content.
All right, let me speak. The main importance of me showing that clip, right? And I want people to do research as it relates to both political parties, right? As it relates to both political parties. When you do the research, you will realize that the Jamaican Labour Party administration has sold more than 75% of Jamaican assets. Jamaican Labour Party administration. Right? Now, when we talk about Bruce Golding era, Bruce Golding had divested several of our assets, including Air Jamaica. And so it is important for people to do the research, right, when we talk about governance and the capability in terms of being innovative. Let me remind something. Let me remind the Jamaican people as it relates to what Nigel Clark had done. Michael Manley. That was the reason why Michael Manley, right, had increased the bauxite levy so we can get maximum benefit when Michael Manley had increased the bauxite levy. Why do you think IMF want Nigel Clark? Nigel Clark's a good debt management for IMF. What Nigel Clark had done as it relates to our bauxite is to remove the bauxite levy, zero the bauxite levy. And so now we are giving, right, our bauxite properties free of cost, right, to external entity who is abusing our economy. Yes, what Andrew Holness had done when Portia Simpson administration, as it relates to JPS, said 350 megawatt usage of the Jamaican people consume as a protection. Andrew Holness have reduced that to 150. Broaden the tax net. Right? And here is Andrew Holness coming up. Right? Speaking about his 1.3 trillion budget. A budget that has a shortfall that Nigel Clark doesn't fix. And leave Jamaica economy. And now what are we facing? The Jamaica economy is now declining by partially 3%, to be specific, 2.8%. Poverty is increasing. So anyone want to do the research as it relates to which administration sell out most of our property in the Jamaica Labour Party administration? I don't know. The Google search engine is there. How much things that Bruce Golding had divested? Talk to me, people. Here it is where Nigel Clark zero the bauxite levy. Here it is where Nigel Clark remove the levy from green produce to come into the island. The level of corruption does extend. And this Jamaica Labour Party government create what we call a Ponzi scheme in SSL, damaging our people. And this government has the audacity to seek a territory. Look, so many things that they have done. People, why you don't go to the different various search engines, search for the facts. And that's why I'm warning Jamaica. Warning Jamaica tonight. Make sure you make an informed decision. Right? We have to make our fingers need to count. Right now, that's all we have left. Make sure we are making the right decision. Right decision. And so then I open the floor for anyone to call, right? And of course, while we're anticipating the call, we will just open that for, might be at 10 minutes. If we don't get any call, then, that's the final clip for tonight. We will just go around for the panel to make their final statement.
Yeah, and the screen across the screen, guys. Sorry,
Artigan.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's an interesting piece. I don't know how old that piece is, but there are some things that weren't included in the piece. Like, for example, roads.
Yes.
Roads. We don't own those.
Yes, true.
We own those roads.
Yes.
And then the fees. Land. We don't own the land right there. Because we see what the Chinese now, they might like redirect the course of 3 rivers out in a Miami Bay area. And they might build a huge development out there, which initially them said it was like 170 something acres. Turned out now it's 700 and something acres, the map out there. And they might redirect it. And this secret meeting of them have the documents them just come out now. Dr. Devon Taylor in my spirit that thing because of Jabem and the beach access movement. But here's the thing that the guy that he never talked about. I wish he would have talked about it. how did these things happen? How? How did they happen? Them just walk in and say, you know, we are gonna buy up them things. No, we're right back where we started. Corruption.
Corruption.
Right back there, money under the table, and people sell out them own people.
Exactly.
Sell out the resources.
Exactly.
And then here's another thing. In addition to selling out the resources, corruption, you turn over the security of your country to another country.
Mm-hmm.
Who's taking care of the security at the ports and the airports? People last week, Saturday, we started talking about secure report. Or them come, the Jamaica went to the US and said, we need help with, you know, securing our borders. Say, okay, secure report. Secure report come in and say, okay, we can get all of these state-of-the-art things that we've used in Germany, we've used in South America, we've used in America, we use all of, because that's their thing, providing security for airports and ports. And them say they spoke to the Prime Minister. No, they spoke to the Minister of National Security, Mr. Chang, and he said, oh, I love it. Send it to me by email. They sent it to him 45 minutes after the meeting. 3 months went by, them not hear from him. The American embassy contacted the office of the Prime Minister and said, listen, when I ask about security, see the people, and we don't hear nothing from them. Them say, okay, you know what? Tell Secure Report must go back to Minister Chang and his group. Minister Chang and his group, when they went back, them say, oh yeah, we received it. We acknowledged receipt 3 months ago. This was like 2018. Nothing. And all of that was for free. For free. Because them say, listen, the question was, how would they make money? Right? Because nothing free. They said, we will make money off of the tourists coming to Jamaica. We will put a surcharge on the airline tickets. So the government of Jamaica won't feel it. We'll do it. Them say, no. Connect the dots, people. Connect the dots. Right? So we give up the security. We give up land. We give up roads. Corruption involved. And then we wonder why, how did we get here? Well, and the thing about it is that they've made it so depressing, and they've dumbed down the thing to people that people don't even understand what going on. So when them say, oh, like he make a statement so like the Jamaican people, like them, you know, them probably have tried to figure out what going on. Them not figure out nothing. Nothing them not figure out. Because you know why them not figure out nothing? Them downtrodden, them depressed, them might think about the next meal. Them might think about how me get my picnic them at school tomorrow. Them don't have time to think about them issues that we sit down here and not talk about. Them don't have time to figure it out. Either some of them can't figure it out, some of them can figure it out, but them figure say it's hopeless. It's what me I gonna do when me I go, you know, we raise my voice. What me I do? Why me I burn calories? I do that. But I'm a burn calories. I try hustle over here so I make money and put some food on the table, even if I junk food, right? So you have a combination of people who understand and you have and people who don't understand. And so Jamaica is in a very, very dire straits right now, because it's only, like him say, like Mr. Christie said, there's a widening gap between the haves and the have-nots, widening gaps between the rich and the poor. And the question then is, who are going to take care of the poor people? Except for the fact that the poor people nuffer than the wealthy people them. Poor people nuffer by far. And the question is, okay, no, all right, allow the poor people who nuffer than them people who up on the hill and make money. What are going to do about it? No, I'm not advocating violence or anything like that. I'm actually advocating a peaceful protest. Because like Janet said, if you lean upon the government, you will get your way. If you just sit down and say there's nothing you can do, then guess what? You're right. There's nothing you can do. If you don't do nothing, then them now, like my father used to say to me, do something before something do you. And that's where we are with the Jamaican population right now, en masse. That's where we are right now. You almost can't, you get to the point where you can't blame them, because the fear factor, the depression, the hopelessness, all that, them just not see a future. And Them just don't see a future in a Jamaica. And so every chance them get, you know, tell you one quick thing before I come on. I lived in South Africa for a long time, right? And I have strong connection in South Africa. If they open the borders tomorrow in South Africa and say all of them can go to America, very few people are going to come and very few people are going to come and stay. I always wonder about that because them have such a strong family tradition. When them cling to the family and them cling to the land. That them just say, I'm asking them all the time, why is it that you guys don't run, don't come? In fact, we used to laugh because at the embassy, when South Africans used to show up, them used to just give them visa. Because them say, I'm asking them, say, because them are come home, them not stay, them not run to go to America, them are come home. Try that in Jamaica. Open the gates tomorrow and tell them, say, if you don't want to go to America, you can't go. And so much people, how much people are going to remain in Jamaica? Try that tomorrow and say, you don't even have to do that. If you just say to them, say, we want to send them to go Trinidad. Well, I don't know, can't go. If you don't want to go. Mexico, if you don't want to go. Canada, in Europe, anyway. Jamaica empty. Hey, by the way, Jamaican politicians, if you don't want to stop crime, that's one way you can stop crime. Open the floodgates. Talk to them. You can give them some visa and say, well, everybody gone.
All right.
Everybody gone. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Greetings, mystical king and queen.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Jamai.
Yeah. First thing, resource is power. You said something by that. You hit the nail on the head. When Michael Manley decided that it's one of our most powerful resources, and it so happened that you mentioned now that the GLP party use this the thing on Michael Manley second place, but we getting 51% of the outside money. Where is that money going?
Exactly.
That's a question may I ask. Where is that money going?
You know, and that move, that Nigel Clark made cannot be in the interest of Jamaicans. Cannot be.
And it will never be. So you see exactly the back step now and bringing poverty. Because remember, I know, if you look back on the history of Jamaica, I know, the GLP party has done everything to take away the power and the resources of the people in Jamaica, I know.
You're correct, sir.
Every time, crime increase every time GLP step in power. Increase every time GLP step in power. Right? Yeah, you said something earlier. Waterhouse, Samarkand, Bocas, these places that you name it. Jerusalem, you name it. These yes need to step up like they used to bring back the People's National Party to a stronghold to where these People's National Party power is the only way we're gonna see change. The only way. Most of the majority of people in Jamaica right now I see is that they're following suit in and following propaganda media with this man and not realizing that they're selling them soul to the devil. This man, oh, you put 28 bank account. Not even Warren Buffett and these men have 28 bank account.
And that's no joke.
And them a billionaire.
That's no joke. Because Warren Buffett now have 28 bank account. Bill Gates now have 28 bank account.
Yeah. You see it? How is it? The DPP, which I really think stand for politician protection.
I'm like,
Because that's what doing. That's what this lady doing. When she protecting the prime minister.
You're right.
Yeah. No. All of these people that I hear you name tonight is a part of the Holness'S corruption, you know. I think these people should go under some serious investigation, you know, and they need to be arrested. So, you know, because you have to break down. You used to be law enforcement. You know that you have to break down
Yes.
the corruption, you know. So you have to get these people out to start talking. There's some strategy that need to be used, man, to start from, I mean, drastically in Jamaica. We can't have these people. We can't have these people in Jamaica, so man. We can't. I mean, there's so much thing I want to say, Byron, but man,
I know. I can feel. Yeah, I you know, I feel you. I feel you, my brother.
You know,
So sad.
Resign, but not retire, brother. I love the work you're doing same way. You know, a young protege, I tell you, love you, but you know, because I come up and many times before, that man stand for equal rights and justice for Jamaica. But Andrew Holness stand for just us. Just him and him cronies. Think about it. $3 trillion. That could take Jamaica out of debt, you know, my brother. Think about it. Now you have Nigel Clark don't work. Pay these people now to bring down the country worse than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Resource is power, brother. The resource we have, going to sell it out. And then you know force the people to sell them soul to this corrupted system that you call NIBS.
Man just need to step down.
Well, you know.
He's not going to step down.
But he has no shame.
He's not going to.
He has no shame.
No shame.
Right?
Well, him daddy was a pig farmer, you know, so we don't expect no better, you know.
Exactly. His moral order has been bankrupt. Has been bankrupted.
So,
no shame. There's no shame.
People that say Andrew Holness work for the devil, but I more think the devil work for him.
Well. Well.
Only if there's a devil, I'm a devil, man.
I do agree with you, my friend. No joke.
If only this man would just realize that the people the history of Jamaica, I hear no prime minister under so much scrutiny.
Exactly.
So critical. You name it.
You name
There's,
it.
there's no moral compass to describe this man.
Exactly.
Everything is about him.
All right.
Everything is about and his devious ways, man.
Exactly.
And no better the mackerel, no better the barrel. Because his wife is the same.
So true. So
You know, how is it you people can't see that there's a pattern with them?
It's a clear pattern, of course.
Where they get they put a permit to build something and they build it astronomically more than what they're supposed to do. And the one is do it, the wife do it, them colleagues
Breaching the building
but yet
code.
still everything is in their circle.
Yeah.
And people blind to it. You instill him, and it's so sad that some of the people in Jamaica, I don't know if they're afraid to talk out, but at the same time, they're instilling poverty on their own self.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you're not forcing, if you're not taking a stand, then you're falling for anything.
Exactly.
Because you must stand for something. So where is your moral? Where is your moral standard? Citizen of Jamaica.
It's crazy.
We need to take a stand when it matters. And not stress how much great work you're doing. Man like you, man like that. We are doing so. You know. But who's really exposing these things because a lot of time and effort. I mean, look at the $800 million project. Yeah, when you was playing something on it since night with Rocky showing it. I remember that's a replay still.
Yes.
But even where they're supposed to build the sewage system and stuff like that.
Yes.
If that I'm into construction. And my thing is this: if they don't even understand what land erosion is, because if that where they put their sewage septic system and it starts to deeper into the soil, it can break away the soil and break away the whole bottom half of that building and collapse the whole property.
Yes. And also put people's lives in danger.
Well, definitely that put people's life in jeopardy. But even bigger than that, I tell you, 2 acre land, I want to take 4. So, you know, it's bullyism, this man into.
Bad man government.
I don't know if you remember a clip. I was trying to look for the clip to send to you too, where a young man, they were talking on something, and the young man get up and talk to him. And he get up and say, oh, somehow I think you have more rights.
Oh, you're talking at the university.
You're only talking about the name.
We're not talking about the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And what you need to understand, yes, that young man has more right, because that young man is the government. Just like the Maroon, I hear them. I think they have more right. It's only one government rule Jamaica. No, the people rule Jamaica, and the Maroon have more right to talk about because he's still under the British and the colonization of because as long as Jamaica have a governor general, you represent that governor general. The Maroon don't represent. I was worried. Even on the last clip you played with the backside, I wish that part was doing it because I watched where they show where he mark out a different map where they're taking away more of the backside from up in the maroon town. So these things that this man is doing, he's doing it like I said, gunman government.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah, which Jamaica, which other prime minister in Jamaica you ever hear him broke?
Exactly.
Yeah, bro, devil man.
Then the entire thing is just inappropriate, right? But you know, I want you know, big up to the call, right? Because you have other callers who at least want to put in a 2 cent too.
Yeah, man, make them express themselves.
Exactly. Man. So big up yourself, my brother. All right.
Yeah, and big up the panel.
Yes, man.
Enough respect.
Blessings.
Yeah.
All right.
Respect.
All right, cool. So for other callers,
That's one other person was calling.
okay. So let us give another 5 minutes for that person. If that person want to call back, then right.
You're great, fun.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for calling in. Well, we have to call about. In that regard.
Yes, fun.
All right. Cool. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. The people need very much help, But one thing I have to say is, it is Andrew, them was in opposition. It would have been very loud about 10% of the thing that is going on, and I can't understand this. Too much silence from Mark and the team. That we have a big problem with that. And being so silent enough for the things this could be seen to be complicit.
No, hold on, because let me just correct you on some issues, because in terms of my knowledge, right? Because most of the things that he had spoken in terms of going against the Constitution and going against certain legal rights, right? Mark Golding has been addressing them, but the problem that we have, let me tell you the problem that we have. We don't have the mainstream media. You understand that is highlighting Mark Golding that much, right? And so then you will understand that what Andrew Holness said, the mainstream media, they will of course highlight him, right, on a consistent basis, while Mark Golding don't really get the highlight. Most of the time is social media has to really find those evidence and have them shown on social media, right? Because when it comes to the fish kill, right, a lot of people believe that Mark Golding did not address it, and yet you have evidence out there where Mark Golding addressed it more than once. So we have to take it now and show it, because mainstream media is not doing that.
Yes,
right. So let me just correct you on that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'm president of the Prime Minister office. So you understand the sort of manipulation that is going on.
Yeah, but still things that if them can take the social media or something a bit more to because if it's Andrew was in opposition, it would be a damn yeah. And all these things Andrew used to leak out only back then.
Yeah, you're right with that in terms of Andrew Holness. I'm trying to, dibbling in most of the things to oppose the government, because he was campaigning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not embarrassing when the country on.
Yes.
It's not really.
Exactly.
We never see the country that comes to this
Well, I'm asking you, right, to make sure you make the right decision, and my friend.
Yes, man. This is a must, man. No, man.
All right.
This is extreme. I've never seen anything like this in my years.
Never. It's unprecedented, my brother. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Nowhere in the history of our politics we ever seen anything like this.
Of our people, we are strong people, and the strength and slavery, we,
exactly.
we are very strong people, and I don't know, we're docile. We are so docile, not funny.
Exactly. Perfectly right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the good work and the team doing.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
Things, and have a blessed Christie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, and thank you for the support, because the supporters, they are the ones who are pushing us along. So we are thankful for all the support.
And the endorsement.
And the endorsement.
Thank you very much.
You're blessing, my brother.
Thanks much.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, so that is it, where we are going to close the curtain, and let us just ask the panel, right, to give their last address to the public. Let me start with you, Jamaica. Go ahead, because we're going to have Ratigan close the show for us.
Thank you very much. I believe in gratitude. I thank you very much for including me. Thank you for sharing the space with me, Mr. Wilfred Ratigan. It is a great pleasure to be among such great minds, so that I can come and express myself as a Jamaican, feeling what is on here, and also, most importantly, to learn. And I must say to the Jamaican people, delayed gratification is the saying. And we have to learn to burn our bellies, as our grandparents have taught us. So these free things that the Prime Minister giving out, this $20,000 and this selling that he's fixing roads and doing good, we have to look at it and say it's not enough. It's not enough. And we need to have a sense of courage. Again, St. Augustus said that hope has two beautiful daughters. Courage and also anger. Angry at the way things are, and having the courage to ensure that it doesn't remain as such. So we need to take that into account. And when they did the interview with Ellen Keller, which is the blind lady they asked her what was worse than being born blind. She said, have sight but no vision. And if we will continue with this current government, it is no vision for the future. And I believe the time is now for us to take this time serious, take the information that we're given on a daily basis by all the well-thinking Jamaicans who have critical thinking. And if you look at what you and Sir Wilfred Ratigan and many others has been doing, I hear somebody bashing Mr. Wilfred the other day, saying that them type of people you bring on your program. But the greatest lesson is awareness, and teaches people how to critically think. And each time I hear him and also Kevin speak about the reason why they bring on these people, it's about awareness. It's about critical thinking. And we have to cultivate that type of atmosphere and continue. That is the only way Jamaica can get better. I want to also say that there are many Jamaicans that will leave Jamaica. You know them normally say throw stone behind you. A lot of them bring a dumper truck and tip out a lot of stones behind them. I don't care about Jamaica anymore. But thank you guys to say, you know what, you're here for the Jamaican people and you want to see a better for the Jamaican people. And just to remind people who is here and abroad that you are the ones who contribute to Jamaica's economy the most. That $4.38 billion coming from tourism, not even the airport money enough for everyone. You understand? So remittances, this is how we've been surviving. Remember COVID, tourism was no more, but the Jamaican people was able to survive because we auntie, we uncle, we grandparents, them, I send back money come give way.
Very good point.
I want to say that we don't want just them to send back a shoes money or a food money. It is time for real investment from our Jamaican people. And even that same ban your belly type of mentality must be applied into this. So we don't want the food money anymore. We want to ensure that our diaspora members, family members come back instead of getting harassed in the airport. And ironically, we dress up and we sing and we dance to the tourists and don't welcome our Jamaicans. That is a crying shame. We want to change that. We want our diaspora family members come back to set up businesses where them know somebody from the front of the car or the lane who then grew up with a long time. Him can get money when you come and spend back the money in the community. The Chinese man, the Spanish man, he man no care who they on the corner or who did have one shop one long time. Feel money now go there, so. We want to get these type of thinking in our Jamaican people's head. And I'll definitely close with this for the Jamaican people. There's hope. There's hope in believing. There's hope in not fearing. There's hope in standing up for what is right. And as did Les Brown said, if you want something bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, and if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and lose all the terror of your opposition for it, if you simply go after the thing that you want with all of your capacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty nor God sickness nor pain of the body or brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, with dogged and grim, besiege and beset it. With the help of God, you'll get it. Thank you again for your time.
Wonderful, wonderful piece. Brother Rattigan, I move to you. Please close the curtain for us. All right.
When I listen to somebody like Jamaics, and I just want to thank him for sharing the platform with us. It's been my pleasure listening to him because it gives me hope that Jamaica is not completely lost. We still have young people in Jamaica who are vibrant, who are thinking, who would like to see the best for Jamaica while remaining in Jamaica. Because a lot of them, they say, well, I'd like to talk about Jamaica and think about Jamaica from afar, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, believe me, it warms my heart to share the platform with somebody like this. You know, in the man, people, this is a young man that is going places, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Yes. Let me just say that the two callers, and even, the two callers, I think they mentioned Dr. Nigel Clark. And Nigel Clark, one of his parting gifts to this political party, the government, and not people, very many people paid attention to it. He securitized Jamaica's interest in the Norman Manley Airport. What does that mean? The Mexicans who run it, Jamaica has like a 52% share, right? And what he did was, he said, you know, for the next 12 years, we want the money up front. So they got a company that's registered in the Bahamas to go out and issue bonds. Whoa. And they collected 480 million. I think it was more than that, but Jamaica's share of it was 480. And that money was turned over just recently. So for the next 12 years, Jamaica cannot collect a dime from the airport. Because what now? And the company that they did business with, that company now is, you know, people don't go into business to lose money. So that company, if they pay 480 million, you can just imagine how much that company is going to make over 12 years. So for the next 12 years, we have no money coming from the airport. So forget about the security, forget about the control. Now you can forget about any kind of return or any kind of a payment that you would get what I'm call it, revenue, any kind of revenue they would get from their share. So that money now, it's not reflected in the budget. It's not reflected in the budget. It's not a debt. It's not reflected anywhere. So the question is, where's that money going?
Exactly.
Spark. That's where the money go. Spark. So when them say, oh, we're going to fix roads and all of a sudden them have money, this is what Nigel Clark did just before boarding the plane.
My God.
This is what he did. So Jamaica is just gone to the dogs right now. So for 12 years, we just have to sit down and look on the airport. And, you know, there's nothing we can do. We sell out for shares outside for 12 years. So after 12 years, you get it back, you know. And then who knows what condition it will be in. Who knows what debt will be there when you take it over. You might have to turn around and then lease it out to somebody else again. So just like what they're doing with the ports. And because what Nigel Clark was saying was that we don't have the money to invest. And one of the reasons why we don't have the money to invest, because we're worried about the GDP to debt ratio. We're paying it off at a pace that
record pace.
Record pace, yeah, and you do it at the expense of this. Yes. You don't have the money to develop, you don't have the money to develop infrastructure and to invest in your people. So what we're going to pay, and then you have the austere measures where social programs, certain things that would help the development of the people in the country, no longer. You have to, now it's every man truly for him and woman for themselves. Truly. So now we really have to lean on each other as neighbors, as friends, as family, because that's the only way we're going to survive. And to all of the people who say, hey, yeah, you guys talk about this. Yeah, it's great, you give us the information and stuff, but what's next? What's next is people have to get up off of them doves. People have to get up and start making their voices be heard. And there are lots of ways that they can do it. And Jeanette spoke about this last week, Saturday. There are lots of ways they can do it. But if you just, and by the way, I'm so proud of the hotel workers, very proud of them. But I just wish and I hope and I pray and I beseech them to coalesce the movement into one entity. Yes. And I was telling them that, look, what I need for those say, you know what happened? High season. We're into high season now. All right. And there's a high point in high season, and that's between Christmas and New Year's. And I'm saying, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to strike. And tell the government, say, we are going to strike. That will bring them rushing to the table. Exactly. Deal with them. But when you deal with them, onesies, them can get big money and get the dealers and then they quiet you and then you're back to where you started. No, we need to come out as a unified force and say, listen, all of us nationwide, all hotels, yeah, we're not working between Christmas. And some people say, look, here's the thing. We stand on the shoulders of greatness. There are people who have gone on before us who died so that we could have the right to do what we're doing now, right? Exactly. And it's a shame and a disgrace for us to just say, well, me can't do nothing, and just sit down like some bum. You know what I mean? You have to get up and you have to do something. We are doing what we can do here. Somebody in the chat asked about the Magnitsky. But guess what? I can tell you this, that it's not completed. We're assembling the information, and the one tonight, that was tabled yesterday actually. The one with the Prime Minister and the Beverly Hills, that's part of the Magnitsky. The 28 bank accounts, that's part of Magnitsky. Yes. And I'm just waiting for the Integrity Commission to drop the other shoe. What do I mean by that? Exactly. Proper report with him wife. Because if you think it bad with him, only not see nothing yet. Only not see nothing yet. Right. If you think bad with him, I just want to see the report with them have upon this lady. I just want to see it. Because it is no. So in parting, let me just say, people, Continue to tune in, continue to be educated, continue to support us, because only when we come together as this in a forum like this, that you start with the education and then you move on to action. You can't take the action if you're not educated, if you don't know what the issues are about.
Exactly.
So tomorrow night, you can tune in and tune in to Come Reason with Ratigan. And tomorrow night, as always, we don't do a presentation. We take questions, because we don't take questions on a Saturday. So you can call in tomorrow, and any question about any subject, anything you want to talk about. That's why we're there. So
All right.
Saturday we get together again and we talk.
Exactly. So Bieber, as what Ratigan said, remember, tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. And I want to say in finishing, right, Jamaics, I want to tell you a big thanks to pass through Mystic Sensation and Brother Ratigan, trust me. And blessings, my brothers.
Yeah, man. Jamaics, we soon talk, yeah?
All right.
Yeah, man.
Blessings.
All right.
Out.
Cool.
All right.
Okay,
Cool.
let us say thanks to this magazine as well. She
And
was having some internet problems and she fell off earlier. So thanks to this magazine for joining us as well. I hope her internet it just gets sorted.
Jesus. All right. Thank you to catch that for me.
All right, guys. So thank you for your continued support. Thank you for making it an interactive discussion. Really appreciate each and everyone who continue to support us and to endorse us. Thank you for those new subscribers. Really welcome. And those who join us at the beginning and midway through the journey. Really appreciate each and every one of you. And share the information so others can be educated, so that they can make informed decisions. So it's after midnight for some people, almost 1 a.m. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. So thank you so much. Really appreciate each and every one. And safe travel on the gravel until Friday. And then you'll see Baron
on the Titans
on Thursday. So take care, guys. Bless up. One love.
One love.